Thank you for that. That's probably better.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, my mic wasn't working. So growing pains. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr. You're you, and together we are minting coins. Saw some comments in the stream that there was no sound on. Yeah, that's something that sometimes happen. Thank you very much for letting me know that. Yeah, I was just saying that there is a lot happening with the metaverse, and there's a lot happening with the explosion of the metaverse and Web3. And we're talking about a lot of that being driven by uh, Facebook, about Instagram, about Reddit, about Nike, a lot of B2B businesses or businesses, B2C businesses for consumers for jumping on. Uh, driving experiences, but are those experiences really going to be driven by business to consumer and consumer to consumer? Is the metaverse and Web3 actually going to be driven by business to business? Are business to business experiences in the metaverse going to be the ultimate drivers to Web3 and the metaverse adoption? That and talking about NFT projects, talking about VeeFriends, V1, V2, talking about VCon, talking about Flyfish Club. Uh, there's a lot of craziness happening, in the markets with FTX and Genesis and Digital Currency Group. But I think it's important that we focus on what's happening in the industry and, continued developments, because through all the mess, there's going to be another side. And we don't want to miss, talking about the fun stuff and talking about, the business side. So with that being said, starting the show this time with audio, and we have Shaolin and Novax. Hey Shaolin, what's going on? Thanks for coming back on the show again.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate you having me. No, I think this is great topics. There's so much interesting things going on right now post FTX, because I think what that does is it really shakes the foundation of like what we're building and what's going on in this space, and it just causes us to reflect about, what's important, what is actually being built.
Yeah, there's a lot being built, and there's a lot of development, but there's a lot of concern, right, and a lot of attention, and it's all about attention, right? It's all about focus. It's all about attention. Where are people? What are they reading? What are they looking at? What are they researching? What is their focus? Is their focus on learning about a PFP project, or is their focus about learning about ENS names and setting up their Web3 ID? Or is there a focus on all the disruption that's happening in the market? And so right now there's a lot of focus on the disruption that's happening in the market. But, there is building happening. There is building happening, really on every single level, right? I mean, we know there's hundreds of millions of dollars that have been spent through really large, sort of companies and that are supporting really awesome founders like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, like VeeFriends, right? A16Z investing in the VeeFriends, investing in the Bored Ape Yacht Club. We know there's a lot of like metaverses that are developing. We know that there's a lot of protocols, decentralized protocols, like ENS protocol, that's developing. And yeah, all of this is happening under people's nose, and no one realizes the opportunity, because bad news goes farther than the good news. But Shaolin, you want to just say who you are and just introduce yourself to anyone who's new to the show?
Sure, no worries. Thank you. I think those are all great topics, but 100%. I'm the Shaolin. I work on a couple different projects, and I'm a huge collector of even more. I'm usually focused on utility-based projects, being that not the cliche, but how are people onboarding new people into the space? How are we adding value to Web3? And so for me, I've been primarily focused on, in my case, Hustle, which is a project that's focused on onboarding SaaS-based businesses on the Web3 blockchain, and Elephants, which is my PFP itself. And they're all about onboarding people and utilizing community IP. And I feel that that's super useful too, because if you're looking to build a brand and you have a PFP that you can utilize, and that's in the Web3 space, doing Twitter Spaces, your brand, building merchandise, books, coloring books, artistry, all those things. I think there's so much that's being built on the back end that people aren't seeing just because of all the sensationalism that's going on. And I think the most important factor of that is how are we doing that for each other, and more importantly, again, how are we doing it so others can feel secure and safe coming into the space and knowing that they have something to not only invest in, but people to do it with.
Man, that sounds really cool. And some of that is related to the elephants, or all of that is related to the elephants?
So the IP part is definitely elephants. So for us, we definitely have traditionally, like with other PFP projects, we have our spaces, we have collabs, we have our gaming, just lots of different things internally. But what's been phenomenal, what's been taking off, is kind of building our own media brand, where we have 7 to 8 collaborative, basically, what's the way I say it? Collaborative spaces. I say that only because like so many of them are also associated with building their like products and merchandises, utilizing the elephant PFP into like their own ecosystem. And so what we do as a project is that we empower them through exposure through our brand. They get to basically utilize this as a platform for them to have reach and distribution, which I think is super critical in this space, because you can try to do these things on your own, but if you have someone like yourself who can help vocalize these things in a way that's sticky, it makes a lot of sense. And so that's what we do as a project primarily right now.
Cool. Yeah. Pop me if there's like a OpenSea or a gem link in the back channel, and maybe I'll see if I can pull that up in a little bit later. Also on the show, Gwayman.eth. How you doing? Gwayman4969.eth. Such a good number, so clean, rolls off the tongue. 4969.
I'm doing good, Gary Palmer Jr. Can you hear me good?
Great.
Awesome. I was having some technical difficulties, but I think I got it fixed up. I was here the past
all of us were
15 minutes, man. I couldn't get it working. So I'm going to show up late again, but I made it here not too late. I'm happy to be here with Gary Palmer Jr.East with the beautiful hat. What is that? The Shaolin? That's a pretty cool name. And then Novex.eth. There goes the camera again. Beautiful. I know what I'm getting for Christmas. I'm going to give myself a new camera.
Yeah. The ENS Christmas Fairy.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm going to have to purchase. Get myself a new camera so we can get this really rolling. But very happy to be here, guys. I know I missed a couple of shows last week. I had a family thing pop up the one night. I had some family stop by like unexpectedly, and I was out with them. And then I went to get on with you guys Friday, man, or Thursday night, and I felt like crap. I had this big headache. I went to bed really early. I think the late nights were catching up to me, but I'm very happy to be here now, and I think I got a lot to be brought up to speed with.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, there's always a lot to talk about, and yeah, looking just just to chit chat, talk about cool things, see what you guys got on your minds as well. But I got a couple articles to go over if we need something to go over. I mean, there's a lot. There's always so much going on in the news. But Gwayman, like what's going on with you? Where are you working? Are you working? Like who are there any Web3 projects that you work for, that you're working with? Like, what are your titles? You got titles, or are you just Gwayman? You're just extraordinaire. You're like I see you as like kind of like my broker. I don't know if that's true.
My mic cut out. Can you hear me in my back?
Yeah, there you are. Yeah, you're back.
Okay. So yeah, I kind of have earned this title of ENS broker. I feel like I'm really out here. And it's not a competition. Yeah, it's got to be true. I've helped with a lot of sales. I was thinking about the other night and thinking about all the names I helped with, and it's more than I can count on both hands. So at this point, and those are, I'm talking good sales, not a 0.5 or nothing like that. I'm talking like 5 plus, 10 plus on a few big ones, and that's when I like really was like, whoa. But so yeah, I would chalk myself up as an ENS broker. I put it in the bio on Twitter. for a couple of my new friends that are new to the space but have the money to play around. I'm kind of a personal consultant for some of them. That's what they just call me. They call me a personal consultant, and they introduce me to their new friends. That's how they introduce me. I'm also a team member of DomainPlug.io, where I kind of got brought on to help with marketing, help with just putting a face to the brand, help with some of the creative thinking behind it. I was trying to think of a good word for like that makes me sound official, but I can't think of one. But there is a word that I found out this week. It's called an ideator or ideator. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I googled it, and I'll tell you what, it made sense. So I'm just kind of helping some of the creative ideas, and whenever there's say a buddy of mine is like, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think about it? They run the ideas by me. I give my honest opinion. I'm no genius, but I can tell my opinion's respected by a few people that I respect, and that's always like nice to know. So yeah, domain plug would be the main, and then I am doing some brokering on the side. Had something lined up with some buddies, but that kind of got put on hold just for the meantime while we're figuring some stuff out. But I'm still been doing it on my own time, just kind of for myself, so not through anybody, just making a little percentage on my own. I actually helped with sell.eth last week when it sold for 30. So I was able to help with that one, which was really cool.
That's a healthy sale.
Yeah, it's a very healthy sale. It's more than I'd buy something for, but that's just because I'm a smaller fish. So, helping make deals with more money than I've touched before is like really cool. But yeah, so that's just a little bit about what I've been having go on, and then I'm here with you. I like to try to make myself a familiar face here whenever I'm able to squeeze in. So I try to do that as much as possible too.
Yeah, well, I have watched some nature channels, and with the sharks, there's like the sharks, and there's the whales too, and there's a lot of other fish that swim with the sharks, and they swim with the whales, and they definitely help out. You know what I mean? They help get things done, and there's definitely, it's like an ecosystem. And Web3 is like this giant ecosystem, and anybody that really wants to find a way into the ecosystem, then you can literally swim with the sharks as long as you don't use leverage, because then you'll be, bleeding.
No, most
But
certainly.
just don't use leverage. Not your keys, not your coin.
I like the way you broke that down though. That's what I like to think of myself as that right now. I'm just a fish swimming with a few sharks, and they're teaching me a few things, and I'm also learning from getting to play the side role. It's almost like I get to play with the big boys, but my money's not on the table in a weird way, and I don't want that to sound to come off the wrong way, but it's like yeah, I'm just helping some bigger friends that I've recently met, and it's been going really well. And I'm trying to do anything I can to help push ENS as a whole, even if it just means little contradicting things on Twitter that get people looking at it, even if it means changing a profile picture to an ENS maxi so that people can see ENS more. I'm just doing all I can right now for being a little fish. I'm trying to swim with the shark.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, well, and so yeah, we can definitely get more into that. And your camera's out, by the way.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix it.
Novax, and we got Novax too. Hey, Novax, how you doing? You want to say hi and who you are and how people can
Sure.
about you?
Yeah, I love to, Gary. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here and for what you're doing here with minting coins. Super cool. So I'm Novax, N0VAX.eth. You can find me around Twitter. N0VAX NFT is my handle. And I'm into all kinds of stuff. Right now, I'm sitting here editing out some of the final trait layers for the 100K cat.eth 100,000 subdomain avatar project that's been rolled out here pretty soon. Actually, we're looking at a Wednesday in December for the actual first mint date. And then I'm involved in 24-hour club, and I do a lot of stuff around ENS as well. So yeah, you could find me around Twitter Spaces most of the time, but trying to come and kick it with you more often over here too, Gary.
Cool, man. Thanks. Yeah, I love that. Very cool. Excited to have everybody here. thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for coming to the show. And if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe. Subscribe to Minting Coins and like this video. Subscribe, like, hit the bell icon notification. Follow us on Twitter. Get updates from us to know when we're going live and other really cool, important information.
Don't you have a Patreon as well, Gary?
I have a Patreon. Check out the Patreon. Become a member. We also have, through our website, our members only section on our website. Register and join and get access to our members only video, our members only calls, members only section that helps support us, support the show, help support our writers at web3domains.com. And be part of the community and part of what we are doing here.
Can I add to your promotional pitch?
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, I want to let people know in no casual way that the Patreon is a really important part of what's happening here, what you're doing to build out this content so that we can have captured highlight clips and really build on the value of this content. It's this beautiful evergreen content featuring everyone from the community doing awesome stuff. And in real time, if we can get it out in shorter clips and promote it to different platforms in shorter form, and do so many other things that I know Gary has probably a list as long as my Christmas list of stuff that he would like to build out here. So if you guys are able, that is a huge support. It's not just a small part of what's going on here. It's going to be a huge part of building this out. So get in that Patreon and help us out, help us grow by having a reliable income from the community. So we don't need to worry about conflict of interest with advertisers or some of the things that you might have to shy away from saying or whatever. We want to be able to be candid here and be supported and funded by you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an intention here to not be dependent on sponsors and to not be dependent on sponsorships, but to be dependent on the community, to be able to speak with the community and to just be honest and forthright. And, because this is about Web3, this is about working together. And I've been in the space for a long time and, making YouTube videos and a part of like a couple different communities. And Minting Coins is, what I'm building right now to just help create community and create information and create content and to highlight things happening in the space. And I want to do that with your support. So definitely reach out, definitely become a member at mintingcoins.com. And your support means everything to me. I've never launched a token or an NFT project because I want to make sure that I'm truly delivering for people and for the community, because it's really important to me that, that I build slow and steady with the community and, not rush into, just being driven by financial gain, right? I want to be driven with the community, which is why we're here with the community, talking about all sorts of things happening, not just with Web3 and the Metaverse.
Is Gwayman hitting a red cup, a red solo cup right now, Gary? Did you see that?
He is, man. There's a thing we learned in the 90s, and that was never take photos with a red cup in the background.
Wait, I'm too young. Why is that?
Because you would instantly lose your job, or you would lose a job application because the recruiter would check your Facebook, or the recruiter would check, your MySpace or your Facebook or your Instagram. And if they saw red cups in the background, that would be taken as like a sign of someone, I don't know, who drinks beers at places that have cheap red cups. What was that, Novax?
Oh, well, I was just going to say real quick, as a little aside, but at my wedding, my wife went to great trouble to make sure that there were no freaking red cups there. You know what I mean? And so at the rehearsal dinner, there was red cups and they got stashed away somewhere at the venue. And so late into the evening, after the ceremony and everything, the party's breaking out, we're cutting the cake, everyone's having a good time. And she kind of like nudges me and she's like, where did all these red cups like where did they come from? They're everywhere. There's no like pulling them back. It was like they were out of the bag. Everyone had a red cup. So our wedding went from being this nice little country barn wedding to being this real down folk country barn wedding.
Crazy of them to assume that my cream soda would be anything else.
We know what you got in the cup, Wayman. We know you're sipping on that Friday night happy hour drink.
Christmas season. This is some Christmas cream soda.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. I just got my first holiday nog, so we're in that season, guys. It is
holiday nog.
Once a year, it's a seasonal, so we wait for it all year.
Let's see where my camera's going to be tonight. This thing's going to keep giving me issues all night. There we go.
Did I see Gwayman also had like a multi-cam setup? I thought I got a profile shot real quick there for a minute.
Yeah, so that was my laptop. I got my laptop over here to the right, but I tried to make this like a nice little set that I could just hang out, look at the screen. The only thing is, it's like I noticed from the pictures I've been taking, I never look up at the camera, so it always looks like I'm like slouched because my screen's a little bit lower. So I need to fix the setup a bit, but yeah, I try not to run off the. I bought this camera forever ago. I was gonna like stream some things with it, and I never did. So I like wrapped it up, put it away. And then when I unwrapped it, it's like the cord in the back is just it's so it was all bent and everything. To where I think it's just like it's just misfiring. It's not, the wires are all tangled and stuff, so it wants to come in and out, keeps cutting it down.
I think you got to adjust your mic. You got to get it more like in front of you, the mic, because like I think when you're like turning.
How about that?
Yeah. You got to get right into it. Like I got mine like right in front of me.
Yeah. There we go.
Now we're getting the richness, the velvet of that Gwayman voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
Now if you veer left or if you veer right, it's still like in front of you. You know what I mean?
I head to the side and I just be hanging out, bouncing around with the camera again. That's okay. I'll be in and out throughout the night with the camera. I'll be battling this thing. It's just
we're gonna every stream we're gonna get a little bit better. We're gonna figure this out.
Yes, sir. 100%.
And if the cat, before we move on, if the cat doesn't make an appearance tonight, I'm gonna be disappointed.
He made an appearance the other night, and I was like, man, I gotta give him a bath. Like I gave him a bath, but he's so fat, and he's got like a few mats in his fur. I gotta get him cut for Christmas. And I was like, he's trying to show off his mats. He wants everyone to know that he needs groomed. But yeah, we're here though. Maybe one day we'll see Novak's on the screen. He can put on his anonymous mask.
Yo, yeah, I got it hanging right here. Now I'm about to come on the video, show off my big black beard, and hang out with Gary. But first, I got to get something to hold my phone. I need my vape holder. I need my phone holder. But I think I might have to go to the laptop. We were talking about it earlier, kind of how to do it right. But yeah, I'm excited about this video medium because as I was chopping up some clips, I realized just the value of it. I mean, it's significantly just more intimate kind of a setting, and it's to mix that with this late night time slot is a nice recipe.
Yeah, it's like these public Zooms, you know what I mean? It's like voice, video, tapping in, being part of the conversation. I think it's huge value. I think it's just what Web3 needs. It's what NFT needs. It's what ENS needs. Screen component, huge. There's such a visual medium, like Twitter alone, right? Like Twitter needs to add video or stronger video if Twitter's going to continue evolving. Voice is great. But much of the time, there needs to be more, right? I mean, today we're going to be talking about like the Metaverse. We're going to be talking about VeeFriends. We're going to be talking about, maybe fly fish. And there's like so much visual that goes into what we're talking about, right? Like most of the Metaverse is visual, and then a huge part of the Metaverse is emotional.
Why do the gold apes sell for the most? Because you can see it. You can see what it looks like.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. With the fly fish, we were talking last week with the fly fish, and the fly fish. There are the omakase fly fish, and there's the one that have the umami on top. I'll show you in a second here. And the ones with the umami on top, they're like extra expensive.
The caviar, the fly fish.
Still not too hip to the fly fish. I'd like to learn more. I know you told me a little bit about it.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, right? Here, hold on here.
Are you big into fishing, Gary?
I mean, I have fished. I wouldn't say that I'm big into fishing, but fishing was cool.
I'm actually not a fisher like at all. I just disliked it as a kid. My dad would take me, my older brother would take me. It just wasn't really for me. I was like the sports guy. My older brother was like the nature junkie.
Yeah, I'm really into this show called what was it? It's called Alone. You ever hear about it?
Is it almost like Naked and Afraid?
Yeah, except they're not naked and they're not afraid. It's like fully clothed, but alone, and they're just they're put out into the wilderness, and there's like rules where they get like a limited number of items, and it is a little risky because they're in the wilderness with wild animals, and in terms of the matter of survival, like basically all they have to do is build a shelter and then be able to have a source of food, and it's like it's really interesting, just like camping and like trapping and fishing and just some of these old skills. But in terms of an everyday thing, I like just going to the fishmonger at the farmers market, and I like being able to go to the farmers market and get all my fresh fish and all my fresh everything. But with the omakase, right, it's like we talked about this last week, and the floor has actually since gone up for these things. These are the more expensive ones that get you into the extra room. Do you know about these Novaks? Were you here when we talked about this?
No, but I was just going to joke. I was going to say with sushi, you want it fresh. So this would be the kind of thing where the more recent the mint date, probably the better. Like once it's after a week, I definitely probably wouldn't touch this.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. I've never seen fish on chain like this. Not like this.
Yeah, so I've just always noticed that the omakase with the wasabi on top are just traditionally just more expensive than the floor of because all of these are equal access, right? All these are equal, like get you into the omakase room, all the same. But visually speaking, this one with the wasabi typically is like the floor is higher.
I really truly love sushi. Like we have some great sushi by where I'm at in the Central Coast in California, and just seeing it this way, thinking about sushi as a generative art project, I'm thinking right now about like a sushi menu in a restaurant, and this being a tool where you could generate like the dopest sushi, if you just had like a couple of parameters that you could put in, and then you could kind of randomize your preferences and come up with some different rolls. This is like the ability to give a custom order that you didn't know you wanted or liked.
Do you know about the Fly Fish Club?
No, I don't.
Let's see here. Okay, wait, got some breaking rumors here. Crypto reporter, yeah, DM me more information if you have something more concrete. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so Fly Fish Club is the world's first NFT restaurant. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. And in full disclosure, I'm in the Fly Fish Club. The Shaolin's in the Fly Fish Club. Unfolded.eth is in she's also in the Fly Fish Club. We both have like access. And so what of it? It's like exclusive dining. So think of it like a country club. You know what I mean? You know how you pay membership to a country club, or you pay membership to like a restaurant, or you pay membership to a club. And then you go to that club and then you can get dinner, or you can like do whatever. The Fly Fish Club is a restaurant club where the only way to get into the restaurant is if you have one of the Fly Fish tokens. And Let me just show you the basic one. So the cheapest one is 3.5, 3.6 Ethereum. And this one gets you into the Fly Fish Club. And there's only 3,000 tokens total, with 400 of the rare tokens. And where's the restaurant information? Let me show you. Let me think. Where is it?
Yeah, I don't think they listed it on the actual site yet. I just know that they had the promo video on YouTube. Huh?
No, they had it here. Oh, here it is.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's a pop-up. That's the sneaky part.
Yeah. All right. So anyone watching this video, let me know if you can hear this and if you can hear this video in the comments. Can you guys hear it? Can you guys hear it or no?
I can hear it.
Yeah, coming through.
So this is in Lower New York. So let me see here. So this is a building in Lower New York. I think this is somewhere around like, is it East Houston or West Houston Street? And the Fly Fish Club is basically going to be 3 floors in this building in Lower New York. So it's not going to be in the touristy area at all. It's going to be like in this really nice area. And the only way to get in here is to like go with like someone that has like the token. And it's going to be really, really nice, really great food. I've been to a bunch of physical events in real life, and the food is always like phenomenally awesome and outstanding. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a really, really nice place, if you could imagine.
This is a wild vision. I mean, I would just like to hear Gary V talk about his vision for this, like, because there's, you obviously know it's a crazy synthesis, Yeah,
well, this is that video, maybe.
Fly Fish Club is the world's first members-only private dining experience where membership is purchased on the blockchain and owned by the token holder.
A premier dining destination in New York City that will only be accessible through an NFT token.
It will be the first NFT.
I can't hear Gary V.
I think the volume cut out on it right before Gary started talking.
Find interest that we were going to try to rewrite the game.
Fix it.
Hence the things we're doing with NFTs.
We, as chefs and restaurant operators, have tried to identify what's the best path for New York City and how do we do something new, innovative, and fresh and fun.
I think New York City is the premier dining destination in the world. Fly Fish Club is going to be a modern interpretation of everything that you love and appreciate when you walk into a restaurant, but turned upside down, on its face and inside out. Hospitality to me just means a whole lot of love. When you walk into one of our restaurants, you're going to feel the love from being there.
Fish has always been something that I've gravitated towards, something I've always enjoyed cooking, and Josh felt the same way. So it'll be seafood focused, and we're taking our influences from anywhere from Peru to Japan to New England style seafood, and we're using the best quality ingredients that we can source locally and globally.
I'm thrilled to announce this project because it's never been done before. It's extremely innovative, and it turns a membership into an asset for the people that join our community.
We're not a country club. We're not a club. Like, this is you own it. Let's call it what it is. Everywhere else you rent, you pay an upfront fee and then you pay every year. The fact that I actually own that asset and can list it and sell it is a remarkable innovation.
We have two different tokens at Fly Fish Club.
We have a Fly Fish token and we have a Fly Fish Omakase token. Fly Fish token gets you access to the cocktail room, the restaurant, an outdoor space that has iconic views of New York City.
And then the second token is the Omakase token.
Fly Fish Omakase token gets you access to everything that the Fly Fish token gives you, in addition to an omakase experience curated by one of the best sushi masters in the country.
my career has been predicated on what's in it for the person on the other side of my transaction. Every ounce of my energy on this restaurant has been for the people that take the plunge to buy this token because they respect or expect or believe in our collective and what we can achieve, and already planning on what could we add to this token in 2027, 2033, 2047. That's what I do for a living. That's how I think.
Everything VCR Group does.
That just a pause right there. That's like really crazy, like how Gary thinks and what he can add to this token, right? In 2037 or 2043. Not just in terms of the fly fish, but also, you know, when we think about VeeFriends, V1 or V2 or book games or really any of it, or fly fish, these tokens, right? NFTs are capable of delivering retroactive airdrops. Like if you think about it, think about this. In the year 2032, you can reward somebody that owned an NFT way back in 2022. Even if they don't own that token anymore. And Gary Vee is very deliberately putting out there, you know, there are additional expectations or beliefs or possibilities or hypotheticals of opportunity. And, you know, that's just like a crazy thought.
So are you saying you think that they're going to make it to where even past holders that no longer hold the token will be able to like reap some type of benefit?
Well, first I'm saying that could happen, but you know, you really never know. That definitely could happen, and that has happened before in the past. Which is why it's really important that you keep your private keys for all the, you know, past wallet addresses that you've ever had. Like back in 2016, 2017, 2018, there were a lot of people who were purchasing empty wallet addresses, right? Like the private key for empty wallet addresses, and people were selling those, and people didn't understand why somebody would, you know, purchase empty wallet addresses. But those empty wallet addresses actually held money and tokens, or the opportunity of money and tokens through airdrops.
Oh, wow.
Right. If you think about the Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash split, you might have had the Bitcoin, then you sold the Bitcoin, and it might have still had Bitcoin Cash on it.
Right.
Or one of the other many forks, or, you know, and these things happen on Ethereum. These things happen on Bitcoin. And
yeah,
so,
that happened with the Ethereum and the Ethereum Classic fork, right?
Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, Zcash and Zcash and Zencash, and then Zencash and Horizon, and just like there's lots of examples of like forks upon forks upon forks forking themselves and like
free money,
pumping and dumping. Yeah, and it's like, you know, maybe you don't want to mess with that or anything, but there's people who are purchasing those addresses, you know, and it's probably better just to protect your keys. But no, what I just heard Gary say is that, you know, there's a hypothetical of in 5 years or 10 years, there could be future benefits that are added onto any NFT, right?
Most definitely. That's pretty cool.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. So that's that project. I don't know. You guys want to play more of this video or no?
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of, how long is the whole video?
Probably not too much longer, but yeah. So I'm going to.
Yeah, let's finish it.
We're going to do a Fly Fish Club. It's about innovation.
The group behind Fly Fish Club is VCR Group. We're a collective of operators and hospitality professionals. We wanted to create something new, innovative, and more heartfelt for our guests, our clients, as well as each other.
I was born with hospitality in my blood, and that's something that's going to come through every experience you have at the Fly Fish Club.
The thing that I'm most comfortable with is the energy that I've brought and can bring and have brought to this group on the marketing and innovation tech side. Like, there's so many variables that come along with NFT life that people don't think about, that I've spent a lot of time thinking about. We want to create incredible value for the people that are part of this process.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited to have seen it. I was kind of, I don't know, I was picturing something else because of the name. I was imagining this whole like fly fishing, like trying to get people from the city into the wilderness kind of thing. That was not what I expected at all.
Yeah, no, it's this really cool New York City, restaurant. And if you're like in the New York City area or like this side of the coast, I mean, it's like for me, like it's like a must-have if you can get it in the space. I mean, it's kind of obviously expensive. And I mean, supply and demand. I mean, maybe like expensive today's expensive is tomorrow's cheap. It's like overpay today for something tomorrow that it's going to look like you underpaid for it, right? And it's like being a part of these clubs. Right? There's so many clubs in the NFT space and in Web3, and like 99% of them are going to fail, right? 99% of them are sort of going to like not reach their full potential, saying it kindly. But some of those projects are going to execute. And those are the projects you want to be a part of, right?
Yeah,
Like
100%.
which projects? I mean, that's why like I'm talking about VeeFriends, and that's why I'm talking about Flyfish, because I'm looking at different NFT projects out there, and I'm wondering, like, of these NFT projects, which are the ones that I believe are going to execute and deliver and are going to continue building, that have built communities and will continue building communities, which is why, I like being one of the reasons I like being in a Bored Ape Yacht Club. It's one of the reasons I like being a VeeFriend and going to VCon and the Flyfish Club, is definitely built a really strong community as well. The ENS Maxis are, building a strong community and, working to support ENS projects.
I want to stop you right there for a second. I want to ask about the Maxis, okay? Because this is where I've been with it. When I first seen the project, I loved it. I'm talking about I loved it. Like, I had friends that were like, bro, you love this too much. They were calling me on the phone talking about, like, you got to be careful because, like, this is your image and you're, like, supporting something that nobody knows anything about yet. And if they do anything, like, sketchy, they're going to think that you're tied to it. And I actually have a lot of people that think I founded the Maxis, which I won't confirm or deny here because it's fun to do so. But like that's how tied into it I was. I think I had like number 4 off the bench, number 6, number 11. I gave them their ENS name, the ENS Maxis DAO, because I had it like minted as a joke a while ago from this group I was in, and we called ourselves the ENS Maxis DAO. And they told me they were gonna like hook me up with the custom and stuff before they came out. Like I'd have a one-on-one, and then like right before they launched, they were like, "Hey, so we're not gonna do that because we don't want to make anybody kind of put on a pedestal or look like we're playing favorites," which I respected it. I still don't know who the team is, but they're like, "We're gonna hook you up." They never hooked me up, but that's okay. It made sense. But what I'm getting at here is I like the project. I really like it. The art, I think, is cool. I have some buddies that like to call it Fiverr art and stuff. I don't think they realize how much Fiverr art's out here. And honestly, it's just disrespectful to Fiverr artists. These people got to eat too, and these guys still work hard. But I actually like the art. And the community, man, it's way stronger than I was like expecting it to be. It's they're a strong little cult. I'll say that. They're not a real cult, but I just like the joke. But they're strong, man. And I'm looking at it though, and I like it. But I was talking with a buddy because I'm like, okay, I started to learn how these NFT stuff works. And I do believe the community means a lot. Like, if you can have a strong community, that means a whole lot for a project. But I was talking with a buddy who's into Pudgy Penguins, and he was kind of explaining to me his thesis behind Pudgy Penguins. And it was like the funding behind it, the people that are really involved in the team, the people that can really make it like a real life brand or a real life business almost, which is kind of hard to like imagine with these cartoon like animals. But if you put the right people in charge, they might really be able to make something happen. It could be a TV show, it could be a video game, it could be, and everybody's going for that same thing. I get that. So it's kind of hard to pick a winner. I guess the reason I'm bringing this up is I love the Maxis. I think they're a very strong community. My favorite thing is it screams ENS. So that's why I was quick. I bought a diamond the day after they minted because I didn't mint one. And I bought it for 0.05. And I sold it the next day for 0.25. And I regret it now. And everyone kind of jumps down my throat about it. But it is what it is. I said, man, I just 5x'd. in like a day. So I was happy with it, and I had no clue where the project would go. But I didn't buy it for the flip. But once the offer was on the thing, I said, hey, why not? This thing could go to zero. I love the community. I think that they're very strong, and I love that it screams ENS. My thing is, I'm trying to look at the long term, and I'm like, is the community that's strong enough for an NFT project at this point? Because there are a few other ones that they just have to do with the strong community, and that's why they go crazy. Like look at Goblin Town. They ran to like 80th. We were still in like bull market in a way, and things were still hyped up. But what did Goblin Town do? I can't tell you. It was like strictly a meme that just was community strong, and they ran. But look at them now, like they're down to 0.8, which is still a nice floor, but I'd call that a crash from their 80th floor. And I'm trying to look at things, and I'm like, all right, I want a strong community, but like this fly fish, that's a business, man. That is something that's going to be official, real. You can go in real life and experience it. You can learn from it. You can meet crazy people. Like it brings real life benefits. And I'm wondering if a strong community is enough for some of these other projects. So it's like I like the maxis, and I almost want to buy more. Actually, I bought some before I got on this podcast. I scooped up a worldwide alien, and I got myself an ape. It was a little private deal with a buddy who needed some money, so I made it work. But what I'm getting at is, I'm like, before I go too hard on it, like, is it enough? I like that it screams ENS, and that's why I just changed it to my PFP on Twitter. I kind of just didn't because I like messing with the guys. But it does, I'm an ENS guy. It screams ENS, but as far as like an investment and like a future, if I wanted to sell this thing, if I wanted to make a profit off this thing, where does that come into play? And something like this fly fish, that's obvious to me. It has real life utility. I can see a lot of people wanting to be in that group of 3,000. This other stuff, it's like 10,000 is always a big number. Like even if you look at the 10K, there's not 10,000 holders. It's not everybody holding their one digit. There's a couple whales, but that's just how this stuff goes. So I'm trying to look at stuff that really holds like real life opportunity in it. And I'm trying to think what the max is. And it's not FUD on the maxis because, like I said, I just purchased some. But what I'm getting at is just how much of like an investment is it? Like, how much can I really return on it? Because I know some people that bought them just because they're like, hey, it's ENS, I'm ENS. And that's where I am with it. I got a few cool ones I like. I'm like, if they do good, they do good. I got a few, but I don't have a bunch. And then if they don't do good, that's okay too, because there's other things I've been like purchasing because I do kind of see, there's real life money behind this. These guys don't have some, whether the founders are doxed or not doxed. I try not to judge that. If you have a doxed founder, it is kind of like, somebody was mentioning you almost want, I think it was you, Gary, said you almost want these collections to be like centralized in a way. Like people think they don't want it, but you want somebody to be leading this thing. You want somebody with like the money that's like, hey, we're going to do this with the money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to build a fly fishing building, and we're going to have 3 floors that you can come and like enjoy in real life. That brings the holders like certainty. It's like, okay, cool. We're really doing something. When a founder's not doxed and it's just cool art or a strong community, the whole reason I'm bringing this up is I'm wondering, like, is it enough? Like, is there something that could bring real life value, or this could like be a brand or a business one day? And that's where I've been trying to put my money, which is why I picked up a Sappy seal. It could be, but I do have a seal that I enjoy. And it's not to shill it, but I'm saying like the reason I bought it is I can see that. I can see them taking the Pudgy Penguin out or something like that. And the community is super strong. It's crazy. But that's where I like the maxis, and I want them to do well. But I'm also like, I try not to just overdo the whole thing and be like, give myself unrealistic expectations, because I'm like, the hype, the community, the cool art, it eventually is going to die off. Like that's how a lot of these things work. But if you have people that are holding the money and pretty much are drawing the roadmap for this thing, and they actually have a plan, that's when you have yourself something that's worth holding and worth being a part about. And so kind of I'm asking what's your take on the maxis is a little bit with that one. Is it just like cool art in the community, or do you think that there's a little bit of long-term value there?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm definitely, I feel more certain with Gary Vee as an operator who, has his identity out there, and he has his resume out there. And, part of Gary's resume is working with other really smart and talented operators right? Because there's other people who are the the presidents of Flyfish or VeeFriends or these different projects, and yeah, and then when you have compare that to something like ENS Maxis, where they're not doxed, I've always said, yeah, that's more of a concern because the ENS Maxis, they're not even really tied. They're not even tied to an anonymous identity, let alone a doxed identity. And with the ENS Maxis, what I can say is that yeah, they've made a strong effort into building and to creating, but right, I would say there's a lot of concern from the ENS Maxis because they do hold a lot of power, right? Because what do they hold, like 1,000?
Yeah, it's about 980, I think 980.
Yeah, and like and you can compare that to again, you can compare that to something like Flyfish, because the Flyfish is held back out of the 3,000 tokens. Flyfish is held back half, right? So instead of 10% of 10,000, the Flyfish have held back 1,500 of 3,000. And you have to think about this, that the Flyfish it's not an NFT. I mean, yeah, it's an NFT project, right? It's the first restaurant-based NFT in the world, but it's kind of a restaurant first. The technology it uses, right? Like if you have the first restaurant that accepts PayPal, or the first restaurant that does delivery, you're still a restaurant, and you're just doing a new technology of delivery, right? Or a new technology of digital, or a new technology of this or that, but you're a restaurant first. And with the NFTs, there could be people all over the world who are buying the NFTs who aren't going to physically show up to the physical restaurant to make it a vibrant restaurant with enough turnover for the quality of food. And they need to make sure to have a certain number of those NFTs held back, so they so basically they can do a round two, and they could sell to then people that are gonna actually want to show up, right? Or maybe they're the reputations precede them, and it's like what do you call it? What's the opposite of guilt by association?
Exoneration, innocence by exoneration, innocence by disassociation.
Yeah, something. Yeah, you want to show up. Yeah, you want to show up to those places, and they have those. And so with the 1,000 tokens that Maxis are holding back, those are for them. That's the revenue model for them to sell them later. And that's, again, it goes to their integrity, because it's Elon Musk, he owns or any founder of a company, they own a huge number of shares in their company. They're a whale of their own company. They can dump on the shareholders of their company, but it's not in their best interest to dump on their own company, let alone their own shareholders, because they're just shooting themselves in the foot, right? So it's good that the founder of the company owns a lot of shares, because they're more likely not to dump those, right? Necessarily. And but yeah, we don't know the identity. We don't know the long-term plan. And I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, there's questions about specific communities, and they can only do what they can do, with their game plan and their execution. And then there's like the general, like, the general ways that you create success with these communities. And some of these communities, it's about, what is their ambition? What is their conviction? What is the game plan, right, that they're going to be building? And then what is the patience of the holders, right? Because there's a lot of people who aren't patient in VeeFriends. There's a lot of people who aren't patient in Flyfish. There's a lot of people who aren't patient with the Maxis or the Apes, or any project, and they're just like, I spent money in this token, and I want results. I want results now.
Can I cut in here, Gary?
Jump in.
This is horseshit, man. We all know Gwei, man. is the freaking dude behind the Maxis, and he tried to deny it.
I'm
out here
taking
still.
constructive criticism. I'm trying to see what I should do with these 1,000 that I'm sitting on.
He's using
Bro,
the show to divert attention.
That's what I think. He's throwing these red herrings out here, pretending like he's doing something with the main plug. You know, I think that Man's got many more irons in the fire than he realized. He's got a distraction over here, got 10 things over there in the background. He's really doing.
Hey, real quick, be completely honest, Novax. Do you think I have anything to do with the Maxis?
Ah, dude, you gotta put it. Okay, look, I don't. Okay, but I understand why people think you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it.
It's funny, and so I laugh about it. But it could become not funny if we play into it too much. That's why when you did that one tweet that one time, I was like, oh no, don't take credit for it. Even joking. Now the conspiracies are gonna go crazy. But it's funny, you know, and it's a good thing. In my opinion, it's fun to just have a good time with the community, keep it light.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just fun. I did have a few friends that were like, bro, I would have faded these if I knew it was you. And a few others that were like, I knew it was you. And I was just at home cracking up. But no, it's all just for fun. And I didn't mean to take too much long with them. I'm just talking. It's just the example I have because I know everyone in this room. I'm not so sure about our elephant friend here, but I know everyone else is like aware of the Maxis. We're all well aware of their strength. We see them on the ENS updates. We see them in spaces like 24/7. So I just figured I'd bring it up, and I think it's just good. You know, people watching us are probably some of our friends on Twitter, and they might be involved. And I think a lot of us think about it. And Gary has seen a successful NFT project. He's invested in a few. He has his reasons for his conviction, and that's why I wanted to bring up and get his opinion. I think a lot of people would enjoy hearing it.
I heard that Gary was a big Maxis ape holder. I haven't never talked to Gary about Maxis. So before we go on, I just want to say I jumped into Maxis pretty steep, pretty hard. Like not super hard, but I grabbed like, I don't know, almost 20 of them or something in one swoop. And it was a few weeks back, you know, like a month or more ago. And when I did so, it was kind of like King Maxi was laying out the case for me. He's like, there's 0 royalties, right? 0 creators fee. And, you know, it was a free mint, right? So it was like all these things. And then all the support, you know, at that time, there had already been some sponsorships and some things that the Maxis were doing to promote the communities that I really care about, you know, the ENS happy hour and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, I feel good about what the Maxis are doing. The case was well made. And so the anonymity doesn't concern me. I think if the behavior continues to be ethical and they're not like dumping on everyone and they're supporting everyone. But I will say, bro, I'm bullish on a community that puts me on that damn rocket. All right. If I don't get on that rocket, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my song. I don't know.
What is the rocket? Nobody knows what the rocket is.
It's like the famous writing, you know, device is what's in the box. You know, it's just the general principle of it's like the whole show of.
Do you know that quote is from? What's in the box?
No, tell me.
Oh, it's from that's from the book and the movie called Seven.
Okay, we lost him. He must not like that movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't end well for the person that's opening the box. Let's just say, or the person that's asking what is in the box. It doesn't go well for them.
That kind of leads to Schrodinger's cat, right? So if you like physics or even Big Bang Theory, they allude to that as well.
Now that adds up. He brought up the rocket. I'll make a quick statement on it. I think the rocket, and again, it's not FUD, but it just reminds me of because you know a few people might get like a metadata refresh or something like that, maybe a few different looks and stuff. It feels like a project dropping like a mutant style or I don't know. I think it's just one of the things that kind of drive some hype, and then like eventually like. I don't know how much effect will really come from it, but it puts a little bit of fun in the road, I guess, for some people. It gives them something to talk about, something to hype it up. But I've seen that I brought a project a long time ago. It was Grandpa Ape Country Club. It was some Grandpa Apes, and it was a rug. But they hyped up this mutant drop. They copied the Bored Apes. They did everything you could. You could buy a mutant serum and stuff, and it's just like it feels like the serum to me, but you don't have to purchase anything. So, it's
It'll
just
be interesting. Yeah. So what are they going to do? What are they going to build? And if they build something and it sort of flops, are they going to continue building? Right? Do they have the runway and the money and the creativity to continue building? If they have success or not success, are they going to continue supporting the community? Will the community continue supporting them? Are they playing the short game? Are they playing the long game? Are they really here for the ENS protocol? I mean, there's a lot of questions in there, right? We can go on and on and on. And this is like, again, I like to compare and contrast with the leading projects in the space. The leading projects in the space, we have the Bored Apes, and we have the VeeFriends. And what you're looking at here are vintage frames that are being put out there as like a cross collaboration between the Vintage Frames company founded in 2008 by Corey Shapiro, who is a leader. Leaders working with leaders. Gary Vee, leaders in marketing and NFTs, and Corey Shapiro, Vintage Frames company with luxury eyewear. Leader in luxury eyewear in the fashion industry, classic vintage style frames, 1950s, Jay-Z, Beyonce, coolness. So they did a product placement deal. They got the little VF up here. You see the VF? And you got the flamingo. 24 karat gold, triple plated with a nickel base. All different sizes. You could buy it December 1st.
So
VeeFriends.
So what I think,
but if you're, but real quick, if you're a VeeFriends V1 holder, you get to claim one of these for free. You get a physical pair of glasses for free just for being a V1 flamingo holder. Yeah, what are you gonna say? Jump in.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. 100%. This is adding to what he said before, right? Gary Vee has always been a big proponent of the fact that the NFT technology isn't just about what you get up front, it's what you can get in addition, because you can always add value. And the fact that he's doing this for not just obviously Forthright Flamingo sunglasses, but all the ones, right? He's got so many different collabs with like puffins, and he's getting a hoodie, and like, I think there was like a gummy as well that he did multivitamins with. The fact that what's adding real value here is that you can actually have a real physical product that you can brand and label and add additional value to something that you've already purchased. So it just comes down to like giving back to the community, giving back strategically, right? These things come at random. These are not things that, well, I mean, maybe they are like all known behind the scene, but like as a holder of VeeFriends, you don't ever know. You always wonder, what is mine going to hold? What is mine going to have? And unless you got the gift goat, which is obviously very deliberate, all this stuff is really fairly unique. And I think coming back to the
even with the gift coat, you don't really know what the gift
what you're
is
getting.
gonna be.
You just know you're getting something random, both physical and digital. But all that being said, it's like the idea behind the real value of NFT should be a product, a service. And if it's community based, you should find ways to intrigue and engage them, and so that they know that there's still things ongoing. I think what's fun about the way Gary Vee is doing it, he does it kind of like in batches and pieces, so that there's always someone wondering what could happen, right? And I think that's the kind of the fun part of it, kind of the Hollywood of all this, is like the showcasing, right? Like, oh, look, I got this from being this holder, and then it's just something you can brag about. But also too, coming back to the IP, he doesn't necessarily allow you to sell and use it, but the fact that the IP in itself is intriguing helps you as part of the community, as part of the brand, right? The same way you rock your Nikes or your whatever, right? I don't want to go too much into other people's things, but more importantly, I think when you have the ability to continue to add value for something that you've invested in, really does change the dynamic of anything that you would have otherwise. Because if you had something in Web 2 or something vintage or classic yourself, you're not ever going to get more value from it. But NFTs with the blockchain and Web 3 as a whole, you get those things. And it just changes the way people perceive how the stuff works, and kind of helps them on board knowing that there's potential and opportunity there.
Retroactive opportunity. You can see, I mean, Gary Vee talks about it all the time, how And he teaches like everyone, like he talks about this with Shaq and all sorts of people. You can see every owner, right? Every owner of a project, you know who they are. You know when the last time that they did anything with their wallet, received or sent any transaction. You have a general sense, when they last interacted with you. You know what I mean? When's the last time they claimed their VeeFriend ticket? Or when's the to VCon, right? Or when's the last time they claimed any of the gifts, right? Who you can see every wallet holder. It's all on the blockchain. Every transfer, every owner, every interaction. It's such cool engagement. Unlocks programmable connections.
And that includes like going to your website, logging in right into the dApp, just all these little connecting parts that really, again, show the level of engagement between the brand, a company, right? And so I think whether, again, it's like Artifact or these other brands, it just adds so much more value. And I think to the point too, like why people got into Bored Ape, right? It was because they had those in real life events. When you go to a Bored Ape event, it's fire. It's going to be something that's exciting that people around the world can talk about. Everybody has their own thing, and it just kind of goes back to PFPs, right? Why do people want to do any of this anyways? It's because it's a personal reflection of themselves, whether it's the PFP and your digital avatar, or if it's something that you want to wear personally in real life, whether that's a fidgetal, or if in this case it's sunglasses.
Yeah, and every time someone claims an item, a physical item, they're interacting with the VeeFriends website to authenticate and to like connect their wallet and prove that they have the item. And every time they're just to help other people like understand who are listening who don't have a VeeFriend, when they have that VeeFriend, you're connecting with the VeeFriends website, and that engaging with the website is like sharing with the website, hey, I'm alive, I'm here, I'm interacting, I'm part of the community. And that's very, very good for the community to have that level of engagement and insight. And it's pretty much all on the blockchain,
Yeah, it's changing the way people interact in general with brands and businesses that they haven't done before in a way that's secure too, right? Because everybody's always worried about, oh, my privacy, my data. With the blockchain, you can have both.
Yeah, and I mean, I could launch a new product, and that new product can be for like, something for like restaurants or the same sort of audience as Flyfish. I could see all of the wallet holders of that NFT, and then I could gift them a valuable NFT. You know what I mean? That's sort of like an airdrop, because not only can a project see who their owners are, but anybody can see who the owners are, right? So you can say anyone who's a holder of both this NFT and this NFT, you can like programmatically like add them to a whitelist or just an airdrop and say their wallet, their identity meets these requirements for them to automatically get this level of access of my community, even though they're not holding my NFTs, them holding these other NFTs. I'm saying that, that's all they need to access this community or to receive this gift or to be part of this community.
Yeah, you actually can see projects doing that, right? So like kind of a brother or sister project is obviously the one with Vayner Sports, and they do that too. So if you have, like, they just released and did their Black Card, which is basically a burning event to kind of, raise the floor and reduce supply. But if you had this and any of the other like partner projects they constantly do that either with whitelist and or the NFT, which is really cool because again, it goes to show you not only is there a community, but you can add a membership component to it and then add value to those people who are willing to invest in that project as well. Sorry.
Huge ability.
Yeah. Just to clarify that Vayner Sports Pass, which is extension of the Vayner Sports Media Group, as AJ is the sports, the CEO of the sports company. So they are an agency.
That's not VaynerX. Is that VaynerX?
No, not VaynerX. VaynerX is the parent company, but Vayner Sports is their agency of athletes. Yeah, AJ went off from VaynerX and then became a sports agent.
It's pretty cool to see Gary Vee. I feel like he's taking like everything he has his hands in, and he's trying to find a way to incorporate NFTs, which is very cool. He's finding a way to benefit from it. He's also like he'll be looked at as one of the leaders of the space. He kind of already is, but especially if this thing plays out, which I think everyone here thinks that it will. He's just one of those first to do it, and I think that he's doing a great job at kind of incorporating everything he does with some type of blockchain technology or digital verification. It's very cool.
Incorporate NFTs everywhere. Incorporate Web3 everywhere. You're adding new layers of engagement with your audience. You're adding new layers of attention grabbing, stickiness with, you're allowing your audience to have ownership, and ownership into the community. And that ownership into the community is giving you access in the community. And every brand is going to be incorporating these strategies and these NFTs. Every athlete, every musician, every artist is going to be incorporating these strategies. Just like how every independent, like personal brand, or every brand out there, corporate or personal, they have a Facebook account, they have a Twitter account. In the near future, you're also going to have an NFT access collection. You're going to have a Web3 name. You're going to have an ENS identity. You're going to have a token gated, right, chat with your audience. So if you're the star quarterback of a football team and people want to chat with you after the game and they want to get the real access without going through the media reporter at the post game, you still got to do that. But you can chat directly with your audience, just like you can chat directly with people on Twitter. But a token-gated access room for some random awesome sports celebrity, is going to give that level of connection that's going to be not only lucrative, but really meaningful for the owners of those NFTs.
Yeah, just add to, I think even POAPs are fantastic, just to show people that the ability to like represent, like you were there, you were at a place, you were at a stage, you were at some event, and you can have that be your digital verification, right? That you attended. So, I mean, there's so many different layers to the technology that's really separating itself from everything we know before. And I'm so excited to see like where it's going to. I think that's one of the fantastic parts about being a builder, is knowing that like, this is just the beginning, this is early. And the fact that we can talk to people about these things and tell them like, whatever industry you're in, do you have an ENS? Do you have something that can help validate and show people that you're wanting to do more? Because there's so much capability.
Do you have an ENS name? Do you have an NFT? What NFTs do you have? What clubs are you a part of? People are going to be judged by which clubs they are or are not a part of, right? Oh, that's cool. You have that, but oh no, oh, you don't have a sappy seal. Oh, that's interesting. Or, oh, that's cool. You have a skilled skeleton, or oh, that's cool. You have this or that.
Oh, for sure. It's a flex. It's a flex for sure.
Well, I'm saying it could be more than a flex. What if it's a part of your resume?
Yeah.
How long? Serious question, everybody. How long until you like people have resumes and they have NFT membership associations, right? NFT associations. I'm a part of the Bored Apes. I'm a part of the Sappy Seals.
Seals ain't getting hired.
No,
seals
are bad.
They're,
cut the seals out.
They're just too horny.
Okay. Yeah, workplace HR problems for the workplace. Yeah, but I mean, I believe that people are going to put their NFT memberships like right on whatever the future version of a resume is, and they're going to use that as like part of their resume, right? Just like they know, oh, I know how to use Microsoft Word and I know how to use spreadsheets, and I'm part of the domain plug community. I have a domain plug NFT. So people are like, oh, you have special access. That's going to save us a lot of fees when you do your work. That means
I think it goes a step further. I think that they're going to, you include the NFTs that you have, and then you include and at what price did you purchase this NFT? So
that's on a blockchain.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they could dive deep, or if it was just right there on the paper. But like, I'll tell you what, if a guy comes in, he's like, "Yeah, I got an ape. I bought it at 200, and the floor is at 80." They're gonna be like, you had the money to play the game. You walk in like Gary Palmer Jr. and you say, "I bought it at point 0.4," and they're like, "Whoa, it went to 200, and you didn't sell,
Yeah.
and now it's at it went down, and now it's back up, and you still have it." And they're like, "Wow, this guy's committed. This guy has some kahunas."
Provable on-chain reputation.
That's how
Yeah.
the ENS will come into play too. I think if you're able to have a good name, and especially if we're talking, 10, 20 years from now, which who knows, what the world's going to do, say 5 years to make it seem just, closer in the spectrum. But if you have a solid name, or if you have the only Jack.eth, like, it's going to say something about you. It's going to say something about your earliness, say something about your conviction, say something about your early awareness. I think it means a lot. Like I had a hand registered it. I registered digital asset manager. I did end up selling it. I registered it for like $20. I sold it for like 0.4. I was happy with it, but that's why I registered that. As I was looking at that, is one day if you want to walk into a job and tell them like, "Hey, I understand digital assets. I can help manage these," and they're like, "Yeah, well, what do you have to prove that?" Like, I am the digital asset manager on the blockchain. I'm the only one. I was so early that I secured this because I'm meant for this job. Is the reason why I grabbed it, and I thought it would like look cool, and I looked at it just like that on a resume one day, or when they want to like look into, what are your qualifications for this? You don't even have to speak. Like say you just sign it with your .eth, and you're a digital asset manager, and it's like, you want to ask me why I can be a digital asset manager? Like, look at the
It's
name
not
of the
just
next 20
that it's
guys.
not just that you own the NFT, or it's not just that you own that name. It's that the name is your identity. So it's like, if I'm a digital marketer and I own digitalmarketer.eth, and my in web 2, or if it was .com, if in web 2, if my name was Gary@digitalmarketer.com, it's like, oh wow, that guy owns digitalmarketer.com. So, and now in web 3, that is your identity. And yeah, it does say a lot about you, right? And I mean, all the shout out in the world to ENS, but the same thing is true with NFT projects, like you were saying, like, me buying, my ape at 0.4. But there's also like my VeeFriend, my wife and I minted our very rare skilled skeletons at Mint. You know what I mean? And it's all on chain that we did that at Mint. Yeah, and just people can just see that, and it's like this provable reputation. It's not like LinkedIn, where there's some people out there that are fudging about like some of the numbers when they started, or what they did, or when they did it. Your web3 resume, there's no getting away from it.
100%. And I wanted to say something because I never said it, but I always thought it. The fact that you secured your wife's name, I'm not sure if it's a real name or not. We don't have to confirm that here, but she goes by ADA. And is it how is that pronounced? Is it Ada?
Ada.
Okay,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not endorsing any coins here, I hold none of this, but is that the same? Is that same for Cardano? Isn't it ADA?
ADA is the token ID for Cardano. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you were able to secure that. I know it's like completely different chain, doesn't have a lot to do with it, but some people, it does have like some meaning. And if it happened to have any type of success, then it would be like a really cool .eth to have, and you secured it because it's her name. It's a clean 3-letter palindrome. So I seen that, I was like, yeah, that's nice right there. That's a flex.
It is real, especially in web 3. It's real. Obviously I think it's really cool if you can afford a 3-letter for yourself or for somebody, if your name's a 3-letter, or if you got like your initials, or if you did get a first name. It's almost easier getting your 3 initials than your first name, obviously. But we are really, really early, and her name did cost me like more than obviously I was comfortable enough to pay it, but it wasn't a little bit of money. But just because of where we're at in web 3, and like us working in web 3, it was really important, right? Like her and I talked about it. It's like, it's important to have your identity, right? You got to walk the walk, you got to talk your talk. And even if you're not going to walk the walk and talk the talk, it's just the facts. The facts are the facts, right? It's like the fact is, Ethereum is here, Web3 is here. Your ENS name is your Web3 identity, and you just got to have your name. And yeah, you can have like a long name, and that's cool too to have your name, of course. But a short name is just cooler, right? It's easier to see if you do marketing, if you do typography, right? Just a short name is just clearer. It takes up less space. A short name or a short number, and yeah, I feel fortunate. I was able to get most of my kids' names too, not all of them, but
That's very cool of you. I was not so lucky. So what I did, I was able to secure
change
my
your kid's
daughter's
name.
name. I thought about that. Hey, you're Machine Gun now. But no, her name starts with an O, and I couldn't get that. And this is just personal preference here. But instead of doing like an OX, like a 0X, I use the number 0, and I was able to get her actual name. But the O is a 0, and it doesn't look that bad because it kind of just looks like it's capitalized. And I think somebody, I think a few people could go that route. It's like, hey, my name is John, but the O is actually a 0. It's kind of easier to say it. It still kind of passes the radio test. You can say it really quick and have somebody find you. But it's definitely derivative. But I was able to secure like the derivative. It was better than me putting in a crazy bid or on a wallet that hasn't been active.
It. No, I say secure it, because you just do the competitor test to yourself. Ask yourself, don't ask yourself if you want something. Ask yourself how you would feel if you saw someone else purchase it. Right? Don't ask yourself, oh, do I want, Gary, or whatever, Gary Palmer is like Palmer Jr. Do I want or GPJR? Do I want GPJR? It's like, I don't know if I really want that. Right? GPJR, I'm not going to use it, but and it's like, well, what if somebody else purchased GPJR.ETH and was going out there pretending to be you, right? Or something. I was like, well, it's not even a derivative. GPJR are real letters. And those are sort of like, could be an identity for me. And so I was like, no, I wouldn't want a competitor doing that. So that made me realize that I wanted to purchase that. Right. So that's what I do, the competitor test.
That's something I should have did whenever, and we can go on to the next topic after this. But when I was so early, I was registering names, right? And my real life last name, like my family's last name, my family tree, the last name was available, man. And I wanted to register it, but I was like, oh, I don't want it to be in my wallet. Like, I don't want to dox myself like that. So, I'll end up making a new wallet, and I'll register it like next week or something. My silly self was like, nobody else has this last name, like thinking I'm that important or something like that. And I went back to get my last name about 2 weeks later, and it was registered for like years. And I said, who I didn't think anybody would go for it. And that was just so stupid of me. Because this was early on. This was like 2021 when people were really starting to get like on the register craze. This is before 1 million registers even. And yeah, man, it was painful to go back and see that and just know like I'm probably never gonna get that, because I'm not gonna go and place a bid that's like insane, because my I'm limited on what I can
do a low bid.
Yeah, I might try it. I'll do it from a burner or something, so that way nobody can, get all that info on myself. But man, I was so mad at myself just to know, like, I could have had it for $5 a year, plus the gas. And I said, oh, I'll come back for it. And man, oh man. So now I don't do that with names. I see names and I'm debating on it. And that's what happened with Machine Gun. I seen Machine Gun at 0.4 and I was like, it's kind of cool. It's a 10K pre-punk. And then I was like, no, I'm not even going to question it no more. I pulled the trigger and I started getting bids like immediately. DMs like, bro, I was going to get that. And I said, I'm so glad I pulled the trigger on that. Not my last name. Cool name. I'll end up selling
right.
one day. But
yeah, I have countless examples where I was staring at a name thinking, I don't know. You know what I mean? And just looking at it for like days, sometimes weeks, and like looking back at it. And some of them are like 3 letters, right? Not to get into it. I don't want to get into it here, but it was just looking back is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I let that fish just sit there for so long. And I'm so lucky that fish was still there. But there's other times where so many other times where that fish is gone, but it's a delicate game, because
it hurts when that happens.
Yeah, but especially the ENS game, because ENS assets are when you have too many, and you don't have, when you gotta have that cash flow to pay them, ENS names are liabilities because they are a reoccurring cost, right? And so you got to look at that reoccurring cost as a liability, because if you don't pay it, you lose your NFT.
Yeah, no, 100%. I actually just woke up today and I said, you know what? I sold a couple things, and I used some of the ETH I made back to just extend a couple names. I extended my 4-digit, which sometimes I like to flip these and like use them for plays when I see the opportunity. So I didn't really want to do that, but I also think as a buyer standpoint, I do know people because I do it. If you're going to go and buy like a 4-digit, maybe you're going to look and see which ones are good for 2 years, which ones are good for 1 year. And if it is even a quarter ETH more or something like that, it'll be worth it. It's like, okay, yeah, it's only a point like 1 or something like that, 0.15 to extend right now, but it's already taken care of me, and that hassle is something I don't have to worry about. This guy kind of maintenanced it for me, so I'll pay the premium and just hold it for a couple of years. And that's so I do like to extend my names. I know some people are like, oh, I only do it for 6 months so I can get more names. Like, you're gonna have to go back and extend those. Like, you're not gonna sell all these in 6 months. And if you think you are, like, you're playing the wrong game. So even when I register things, I try to do like 2 to 3 years if it's a 5-character plus. But today I sold a few things, and I extended my favorite 3-letter in my 4-digit, which my 3 letters LMG, which I like it. It's cool. It's short for like light machine gun. It's an acronym for let me guess. It could be somebody's initials. And then if you Google LMG, it's also a technology company that's focused around augmented reality, which in the space that we're in, I just could see that, being very useful. So I just got a cool little 3-letter flex, but man, it was pricey. And then the lower ETH goes, the more ETH it cost. So it used to be like 0.3 to extend it, and now it's like 0.6. I'm like, ouch. So
That hurts.
Yeah, so I just did it.
Yeah. Well, in this next story, we are looking at the metaverse explosion, and we are hearing different organizations saying that the metaverse explosion will be driven by B2B, not retail. And, we're looking at multi-billion-dollar business opportunities for all different sorts of firms that are using metaverse technologies by 2025. We're talking about the metaverse, right? Which is just the internet that we have now, plus blockchain technology, the internet we have now, plus the spatial web. The metaverse being worth trillions and trillions of dollars. And, looking at, basically they're saying, looking at the usage, there's not a lot of people, right? I mean, there's a lot of us crypto people, but in terms of overall people, it's a lot of crypto people, but it's not a lot of overall people. And so they're looking at the interesting applications in the business to business context, and they're thinking that's where the majority of the money is going to be. And it makes a lot of sense, right? For businesses to be helping like meetings, right? Think about all the success with Zoom, and you can easily see how what's happening in Zoom could be happening in somewhere like crypto voxels, right? So they go on to say, when you look at some of the spaces, the patronage, the participation, like I was saying, it's not high. But what's really interesting are the experimentations that are happening, the developments that are happening, the new business models, right? The new ways that the new ways of creating value. This is all falling out. It's all being figured out. People are figuring out what works on the blockchain, what doesn't work on the blockchain, what works in the metaverse, what doesn't work in the metaverse. What's a successful way of launching an NFT project, connecting with an NFT community, connecting with NFT, protocols? What works and what doesn't work. And the thing with the metaverse, and think about this in terms of a business context, right? The things of the metaverse is that what they're saying here is that the bit that the Web 2 doesn't solve is the emotional component. And with the metaverse and with Web 3, your senses are hijacked, right? We feel connected with, visually. We feel connected auditorially. We feel connected communally when we're in these different environments of the metaverse. And that's what's missing from the Zoom and all that stuff, right? And so with the metaverse being expected like $5 trillion by 2030, in 8 years, the metaverse is expected to be worth over $5 trillion. And a lot of this metaverse, what's leading is going to, what's being predicted here is this business to business. And then following the business to business, the assumption is that the business and consumer, you go from a business meeting, right? And everyone's in the office in the metaverse having a meeting. And then after the meeting, it's like, oh, hey, John, I wanted to talk. You got time after the meeting for us to talk? Be like, what do you do now? You just stay in the room, right? And so people will just hang out in the metaverse and they'll just have that personal conversation. Be like, oh yeah, my kid's soccer practice. Oh, my kid is soccer too. Oh, how interesting. Yeah. He goes to the, it was funny. They actually started giving POAPs and they could talk about this in the metaverse. And then it's just going to lead to normal. There's going to be happy, businesses do happy hours in the metaverse. And that's going to lead to, dating happy hours and business happy hours, and people that all love soccer will have their happy hours, and people watching the game, will be like, oh yeah, after work, we're going to be going to this metaverse over here and all watching the football game. And so all of this leading with business to business, not business to consumer. What do you guys think about that theory? Do you guys think consumers are going to lead, or do you think this business is going to really adopt it because of the financial incentive here of $5 trillion?
So I was actually pretty early to video conferencing, and that was probably in like the mid 2000s. And yeah, Polygon. I'm not sorry, Polycom was probably the big pioneer at the time before Cisco came in. And it makes sense because the innovation and the money's there, right? Big business money dictates technology for the most part. I think obviously we can do this in parallel where we have our existing metaverses that are happening in Decentraland and these other places, but it makes sense when you have to force people to do something in a place where this starts to kind of piece itself together. And because the money's there and it's a confluence of things, whether it's conferences, whether it's day-to-day interaction, I think this makes a lot of sense just because right now we all volunteer to do these things. We all, put ourselves out there, whether it's passion, whether it's finance related, right? Like, oh, well, we want to explore, we want to try these things, we want to game, right? And then within projects or within like co-collab projects, you can kind of see this happening too, just with gaming, right? Gaming, this is obviously the biggest one that has the most adoption. But in terms of like, to your point, businesses, absolutely. I think it's there because of the fact that Zoom exists and people want to interact with each other in a more visual sense, to your point, right? Whether it's being Twitter Spaces video, like this is the next level where we want to be. And the fact that you can also do your building within the metaverse too, because I played in a couple of things before they've launched and released, and so it's been impactful, and I definitely see the opportunity there. So it'll be interesting to see who gets it there and how it happens. But obviously, like the big boys like Meta, who've completely pivoted, to your point, right? B2B, like if they start doing it and other silicon or like tech-based companies do it, I think that's where you're going to start seeing the adoption, because if you're already doing it at work, it's that much easier in terms of adoption to do it at home and to do it with your friends or your family.
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with that, and I'm going to say that I think that the three things, it might be two things, pretty much what's going to lead these things here is going to be the businesses. And I look at it like I said, my pops, he's old school, right? He doesn't do like the emailing and stuff like that. That's up until like, you move into a house or something, and like the way you get your payments and you make your payments is through like email. So like you're almost forced into doing it if you want to keep up to date and do the things you need to. Or same with jobs. They might have some emails that you got to put in, put out, things like that. So I think that once you're forced to do it, and not like forcibly like, oh, I do this, but like look, if you want to like be a part of this, you have to do this, and you end up trying some new things. That's even people that never wanted internet in their house because they were just old school, and that's up until you found out that, oh well, what do you mean I can get a computer and do this if I have the internet? And like stuff that you never cared to do, but once the opportunity is there, then it's there. So I think that it's going to be businesses that are incorporating it and making use of it, and then I think it's the gamers This is where I got my three, but it's kind of like the two mixed together. The gamers and the creators. So like I look at it like I never thought it would be like if you just to go back to when cell phones first came out, and then you tell somebody like, yeah, so this guy's he's gonna pull up his phone and record what he's doing, and you're gonna sit there and watch it for a half an hour. You're like, why would I do that? But now we have Instagram Live, and it's like you had Instagram, okay, I'll post pictures so people can see what I'm up to, and then you learned what Live was, and it was like, huh, what's this? And next thing you know, now these people have these lives that are popping. I'm talking, 30,000 people inside of one guy's like Instagram Live watching what he's doing off his phone. It's like you wouldn't do that. And if anybody told you you're going to be doing that before it was popular, you'd say, yeah, right. But enough people that are entertaining or just have a big enough following, they started doing it. And you were like, huh, everyone's talking about this live. I want to see what he's doing. So you go and join it. That's why you like these Metaverse concerts. You might not be able to go see Justin Bieber live or never seen him, but then you hear he's doing it live in this Metaverse, and you're like, let me get on my laptop and just see what it is. It takes one good experience for you to be like, wow, that was pretty cool. So it's going to be those creators, the content creators, the gamers. I look at it almost like streaming on Twitch. Hey, you're going to sit here and watch this guy play a video game. Well, why don't I just play the video game? Like, you don't know it, but you're going to like this Twitch thing. There's going to be people that make a lifestyle through this, and you're just going to watch them play games. And again, you go back, people would say, why would I do that? Why would I not play the game if I care to watch the game? And it's different. It's things that you don't expect you to like, that you put the right people to lead it and to start doing it. It takes one content creator, one cool event for you to change your whole perspective on it. And even myself, I don't know if anyone in here has, I bought myself an Oculus probably about a year and a half ago. I wanted to see what it was all about. I was like, let me try it out. It was insane, actually. Like, I went rock climbing. I did a few different things, and one thing I did right, I went into this room where you can spray paint, like it's like graffiti on walls. I was like, I just want to go on graffiti. I thought that'd be kind of cool. So I hopped into graffiti, and I ended up being in this room with a bunch of people, and they were people from different countries. Like, they were all talking different, and one guy was he was British, and he was being really cool to me. So he was like, hey, you like come over here. And like, I actually had to walk like across the room and like go over there. And he was like, watch this. And he showed me something. And he's like, you want to see my gallery? And he literally took me to his gallery. It was on this rooftop. And he showed me this cool paintings that he did, or these cool artworks that he did on the side of this building. And it was just so like insane to me, because I thought I was just going to hop on here and almost like play paint back in the day when I first was playing solitaire and paint on the computer. It was so game changing, man, because I was sitting here and I'm not kidding you, that like when you stand up, you stand up. When you sit down, your character sits down. So I'm on this rooftop, and then he's like, here, sit with me and I'll show you my things. And he could just load up his things. I went and sat on the edge of this building top, like sat down crisscross applesauce. So I'm in my living room sitting there, and I'm on this rooftop with a man from Britain showing me his artwork. And it was just so insane to me. Like, it was very cool, and it was way cooler than I expected. I did end up returning the Oculus because like I played it for like 3 days straight. And I remember I was making a cup of coffee, and I went to grab this cup of coffee like in real life, and it just felt like I was in the game, like a tracers or something. I don't know what they call it, but I was like wigged out. I said, whoa, this like, I feel like I'm still in the Oculus. So it kind of messed with me and gave me some headaches. So it wasn't for me personally. And I think that they'll find things to work on that. But like, that experience alone is enough for me to say like, I 100% think that these meetings will be a thing. Instead of you having to hop on a plane and fly here to go and do this for the company, imagine just being able to do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to do all that traveling. You don't have to, not sleep in your bed for days. You get to do everything you needed to do from your house, and you accomplish the same thing you would accomplish in real life. I think it's going to be very successful. I think that there's no doubt it's going that way. And that's why I do think that businesses will see it. And again, businesses will lead it because it forces you to do it if you want to, be hired and do what you need to do as a job responsibility. And then you got the people that are the content creators, the graffiti artists that give you that one cool experience, or that musical artist that you go to his concert and you're like, wow, that was sick. So yeah, I think that they got the right idea though, but businesses will definitely be one of the leaders out here.
Yeah, it's what I'm hearing is that people are underestimating the power of the technology. Right now, they're talking shit because they haven't really experienced the strong application or, a strong experience of actually using the technology in a medium way, other than like lightsabering, like blocks shooting toward them. But they're underestimating the social. It's like people talking shit about web 2 or web 1, saying like, underestimating the power of friendship via social media, and the number of and obviously people being a bully online. There's like bad things and there's good things. So there's people that are thinking about the metaverse and harassment, the metaverse and uncomfortable situations. But to focus on the meaningful connections part of it, with the internet, people were able to make meaningful connections with their writing. At the very early internet, people were able to make really meaningful connections over chat rooms, BB forums, chat forums, AI, AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, Yahoo Chat. A lot of those people were able to make a lot of meaningful connections. And then like the advent of social media and, spaces, Twitter spaces, Clubhouse.
Spaces are great. I feel like that's why we get to be friends,
YouTube, moving forward into like the metaverse. Like people are always underestimating the power of relationships and, how this technology makes the world smaller and it makes more meaningful connections with even more people across the world.
But let me ask real quick before we move on. Were you into any like online gaming? Like, Gary, did you play any video games like yourself?
I did a little bit. I did a little bit. I was actually not a big gamer. Yeah, I don't want to get into like my a lot of things, but I wasn't a big gamer. But I bought a couple games and I played a couple games. In like some multiplayer, like a multiplayer world game. I played for a little bit called Asheron's Call, and I played other games in my day, and but not a big gamer per se.
No, then that's totally fine, because here you are in Web3 and you still understand the social aspect of this stuff, whether it comes to social media, Twitter Spaces, going live here on and showing our face onto the internet of people that, some we know and some we don't know. I will say like this is where I think the younger crowd, video gaming has definitely gone up with the popularity. Now there's even like extreme gaming, like there's the Major League Gaming and stuff like that. People make money from this. People form teams. Like look at LeBron James' son. He joined FaZe Clan, like it's a gaming team, because of how much he played video games. And if you watch that Space Jam 2, which I actually have every McDonald's figure here for the Space Jam 2 movie, I collected them all. But his son, like they had this whole thing of him like being deep into video games. And I'm gonna make this short, but the reason I'm getting at it is like someone like myself. I played video games growing up. I like to play like my parents let me play them. Good for like, not great for the mind, but you get to kind of crack your codes, do your little treasure hunts on your own with certain games, where it almost got unhealthy for myself. And I got like to where like I go to school, I come home, and that's all I did until bedtime. And I woke up and repeat for like, a couple years straight. It was good to break that cycle 100%. But I will say, like Call of Duty, I got deep into Call of Duty. I know a lot of people do, and that's okay. Some people, Vitalik, he was big into World of Warcraft, wasn't it? And that's what made him want to make it like NFTs, because somebody removed his weapon from the game. But I'm making this longer than I need to. All I'm trying to get at is I play Call of Duty, and I made a group of friends on there. The social aspect, something I underestimated. I just hopped on there to play it. I ended up making friends with about 10 guys that I played with. These guys for about 2 or 3 years, every day. And we, to this day, this was years ago, because I don't really be gaming anymore, but we still talk. Like we still text each other, like Merry Christmas, things like this. These guys live all around the world too. Some out of country, some definitely out of state, and it's crazy because I feel like they're like my best friends almost. I got real life friends, and you got friends like that. And I think that the younger crowd definitely understands the connection of that stuff, the social aspect of that. It's deep, man. Like it's deep. Sometimes those relationships are better than like the real life friends, because that's where you get to go and release. You get to, or you can go there and really be yourself, because you're like, you guys can't really judge me, and then they accept you anyway, and you're like, holy crap, you guys are the best. And then, like I said, you guys end up being friends like 10 years after the gaming stage, and you guys are still talk often, or more than some real life friends. And I think that the metaverse will do that for a lot of people. It's really just the older folks that didn't do much to gaming. They probably don't get it. My dad thinks you can't have a friend if you don't know him in real life. And I'm like, that's not the case. I got friends.
Yeah, it's a combination. It's not just gaming. I mean, gaming is a huge like I would almost see it as like a subset, but it's and then you have like social media, and like social media is maybe like a subset. And because there's people that do it through gaming, and there's people that do it through social, but people who are making these really awesome connections, really deep connections, really meaningful connections with groups of people on Twitter, groups of people on Instagram, groups of people on Twitch, or YouTube, and then just and all the same in gaming too. And these are all like subsets of the internet, right? And it used to be, like I said, it used to be chat rooms, and then it became chat rooms in games, and it became chat rooms in social. You know what I mean? And now with the metaverse, right? It's like there's no thinking that it's going to happen, because it is happening, right? It's like it's happening with all of these communities. Let it be VeeFriends or Flyfish or ENS Maxis, right? I mean, there's some communities where the communities are very, very small, but there's still communities nonetheless, right? It's like there's the heart token, there's a ENS heart token community, right? There's the Bensec NFT project, right? The Board ENS Yacht Club project. And, you could say, like, as long as there's some group of people, like some of these projects can be really obscure as long as they're not scamming people or lying about what they're promising. But these tokens are holding people together. These tokens are like real tangible assets that people can talk about. And even when it was a rug pull, right? There's two people in the future, they're going to connect and they'll be like, oh, you bought that rug pull? Yeah, I bought that rug pull too. Yeah, I still have it in my wallet. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have that bond, you have that connection. And Web3, it's like, it's not that it's really new with Web3, it's that it's being emphasized, it's being enhanced, it's being supersized with the power of blockchain, and like tokens and tokenization, because it's this immutable smart contract on like Ethereum, and people can look to it and they can see the tokens and they can trade them. There's this extra connection.
Oh, 100%. No, that's where I definitely see it. I think people that have any type of experience where they can relate to that, from friendships, from communities, from just a good time. If you can, you put some time into something, you're like, man, that was fun, or wow, I learned something, or I enjoyed that, then you can definitely see where we're going. And that's why I brought up it takes one good experience inside the metaverse, or it takes one good experience in VR, or one good experience on Twitter, and you'll say, you know what, I'm going to come back to this. Like if your first spaces was like trash and you're like, whoa, why was everyone in there making goblin noises? You might never click a spaces again. If you go into a space and you're like, holy crap, I just learned about a cold wallet, or I just learned about this stuff.
Think about all the Reddit people. Think about all the Reddit folk that got onboarded to digital tokens recently.
Yeah.
They went from hating crypto to loving crypto, and now it's like Instagram. And yeah, there's a lot of onboarding opportunity, and there's a lot of different ways that different people onboard into Web3.
Yeah, definitely.
Yo,
That's a good part of
guys,
crypto.
sorry for the hot micing there. I just changed my headset. I wanted to comment really quick if I could, though.
100%.
Yo, I feel like the comment that Gary made a moment ago was so funny. Taken out of context, it's kind of a hilarious comment, but it's the aspect of kind of having the camaraderie of having endured a rug. And I have these, forgive me, but they are shit coins. Like by anyone's definition, from 2017, I had been doing that stupid Twitter things that were like, send 0.005 to this address and you can mint 1,000 Dogeurium 10x or whatever, these random crap coins. And so I'm mining ETH, and I was a little bit liberal with the ETH and just kind of exploring and experimenting with how it all worked, having a fun time with it. So I had racked up this bag of crap coins, some of them like totally legitimate, probably only like 5 idiots have them in their wallet. Others were more well distributed. And I was thinking now, this idea of like a project that would be like a defunge, or a defunge project that would take these fungible crap coins and generate, maybe with some GAN, some generative art or something, some AI, to based on the crap coin name and the amount that you hold or whatever, would generate like a different level of rarity of NFT. And then all the people who still had access to these old projects where they had these worthless shit coins like I do, I'd be like a king of the defunged NFTs from these, could get together and find each other, and through our ENS domains and everything, through what we're doing now, we're more than just like a hexadecimal address. We can kind of share and talk and commiserate about the good old ICO days.
There might be something to that there's some big gamifications involved, but there might be something there for someone to do a project.
I actually missed all the ICO days. Like I said, I was late, but I'm early.
You missed nothing.
Yeah, you missed nothing. Yeah, probably all for the best.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're much better now. ICOs were crazy, just like all these crazy NFT projects that just came out of nowhere. Like some ICO projects were okay. Like Chainlink was an ICO project. So that went from like,
I wish I got that one.
to a lot. Yeah, but I mean, even so, like Chainlink's not that expensive relatively. And yeah, sure, like the ground floor, but it's like the NFTs. You would have, I mean, just on average, right? Not like you, but like the average person, speaking from experience, you just put a lot of money into a lot of garbage, and maybe one of them is not entirely garbage, and and even then, it's not like it completely goes to the moon, versus just buying and holding, what as an appreciating asset, or buying and holding something that you researched and knowing exactly what it is and what you're getting into, as opposed to playing a lottery, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
definitely.
It's like, is it better to buy 10 of some project that might be cool, right? Or is it better to spend 0.4 in something that is like a good bet, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, but what could is a good bet in the PFP market anymore? It feels like everything's been turned upside down so many times. It's hard to imagine feeling confidence in bigger purchases.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends, right? Because if there's a project that comes along and I know something about it, and if I understand it, and if I know who's doing the project, and then I know someone else who supports the project, you know what I mean? And I do my research into it. You know what I mean? And like if Nike came along and I like Nike and Nike actually uses like the right technology, like I would be like, I want to be part of that. Like if it was something that I don't know if Nike is a good example for me, but if there was something that if there's a brand that I really identified with,
like fly fishing.
Yeah. Well, like Gary Vee, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Gary Vee would be that example. Cause I've been following Gary Vee for years before. I've been following Gary Vee since like 2011 or maybe, like 2011, like maybe earlier. I don't even know. I've been on Twitter since 2008. And, following Gary Vee, I just followed him as someone that was inspirational. And I followed him as someone who knew how to execute. And I was following him and interested in him getting involved in crypto before NFTs ever existed. I was interested in Gary Vee getting involved in crypto before NFTs ever existed. And it's really, really interesting because I remember Gary Vee talking about cryptocurrency before NFTs ever existed. And he had a very, very interesting perspective, which I deeply appreciated. And it was very honest. And it's something that I would like to get into more in our members only show.
Definitely.
What he said, it'd be cool to dig up those videos.
Yeah, because I'd like to see.
Yeah, and I'll talk to you one on one because it's stuff that I'd want to talk about in the back channels. If I was going to get into it, this is not where we should get into what he said, and this is not where we should get into like what his philosophy about cryptocurrency was, before NFTs existed. But when NFTs did exist, at that point, he recognized that was a commercially viable opportunity for businesses to get involved, for them to actually have a product and a service economically, as opposed to what cryptocurrencies mean without NFTs. And
Makes sense.
yeah, I would love to get into it because you get a sense of the authenticity of what he thinks and what he believes, and with more access to people, you get a better idea of what they believe. And so when you go to like VCon and you hear Gary speak, when you go to VCon and you hear other speakers that he brings in and you hear them speak and you hear them at the different keynotes, you get a much better sense of where we are in this world and where people really believe we are in this world. And it's really worth it to go to some of these conferences and to actually sit down in the audience and to listen, to what's being said, because we are at the beginning of something that's really quite extraordinary and something very, very special.
Happy to be here, man. And yeah, so you guys heard that, make sure you get part of the members only if we end up launching that, because I think that Gary's got some knowledge that we're going to save some of the sauce.
Yeah. Well, it's heavy. Yeah. So when Gary got into NFTs, like I just knew right away, just seeing him as like someone that knew how to execute. And so if another project comes around and if you know who's in that project, it's not I don't think anonymous is a good way of doing it, unless the anonymous entity is a known identity, right? If it's anonymous, but that anonymous identity has been around for a while, then that's still like a known identity, right? But you can't have a completely anonymous identity, not unless, I guess you could, because you could have if there was a group of people and they launched something completely anonymously, and they didn't just come in and ask for money with nothing. If they came in with a done delivered product, right? Like say they came in with like a decentralized browser. I don't think anyone's done this yet. Completely decentralized browser. They invent a browser and they come out with this project, and you don't know who they are, but anybody can look at the code, and then anybody can then maybe they do a token launch, or it's like the browser works off a token. They do a token launch, and then you're looking at the browser and people are using it, and people get to use the browser before the token launch. And then anyone can look at the code to verify that it does what it's supposed to do. And then people start contributing to this open source project, and then they launch a project. At that point, a lot of people might trust these out of the nowhere people because it's a done project that you can look at all the open source code, and you're going to want to buy into this because it's something that you can believe in. So
that's a good point.
There are projects that could come out but what's happened with the ICO phase, and again repeated with the NFT boom, those boom and busts, is that it started off semi-authentically, and then it very quickly devolved to everybody just copying and pasting an ICO, everybody copying and pasting and launching an NFT project. We're talking the website, the white paper, the graphics, the team page, the Discord or the Telegram page. You just copy and paste everything and then relaunch it, and just everyone would just like throw their money in from one project to another project. And yeah, maybe some of the projects were hyped or they had celebrity backing, but
So and long story short, we need the ENS Maxes to docs if they're watching. But yeah, no, definitely.
Something. There's a lot of different strategies out there.
I had two questions. I'm not sure if you had another topic to run to or not, or if I could.
No more topics. We're just chillaxing and
Okay, cool.
and chit chatting, and then we're just gonna close it up whenever we're ready to close it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
rush.
I'll probably start getting out of here around 11 p.m. my time, which is around now. But I do got two things I want to bring up. One is a question for you, and then one is a statement for myself. I'll go with the statement first because I think it'll be shorter. But I don't know who in here seen it, but I actually purchased Fergie.eth for 0.5. I was just throwing out some bids, and I seen it, and the guy accepted it.
What is it? 0.05?
Zero,
0.5?
zero, half an ETH. Yeah, 0.5.
For what?
Fergie.eth.
Oh, Fergie. Is it spelled like the singer's name?
Oh yeah. It's official. It's the right one. So that was pretty cool. I contacted Validator. I was like, hey, if you want to help me get this tour, like we can do that together. But we'll see where it goes, and if not, maybe another speculator wants it. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there because I thought it was a killer deal, and it's a pretty cool name to secure. The price was good. I thought the price was pretty good. I didn't think he'd accept it. But and then my question.
Done.
Yeah, you like that, Novax? You a Fergie fan? I can tell you are.
Man. Yeah, I am. Yeah, and I think it's a good one to have. It's a good investment.
Hey, these aren't investments. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, definitely. I just wanted to kind of flex that one because I was happy with it. I was pretty stoked when I see my email pop up because I've never had a bid accepted on anything. I get too impatient. I go and buy it. So I just put in a bid. I said I'll just leave it, and then it was about 10 minutes later I got the email. So it happened very, very fast. But that was a cool one. We'll see what happens with that. So watch the bid or the sales bot if you see that pop up. Just
first names are just killer, right? First names are just killer. Being able to log in at any Web3 app, being able to go to Etherscan and have your first name.eth, it's just going to be a bigger flex than whatever. Bigger flex than a Rolex. Bigger flex than bigger flex than like a cool house in the metaverse, right? Because it's the address. Right? Like, yeah, you want the location, you want to be in the right platform, you want to have the right location, but it's all about the name. It's all about the address. Your ENS is universal. Definitely. So all these places, you should be that name, or it's going to be linked off of that. So yeah, the first name is going to be highly desirable.
Yeah, I scooped it because there's a celebrity who's like, she's kind of a legend. Fergie's pretty legendary out here. Gets a lot of respect in the music industry, and a lot of people know her, or she has a lot of fans.
Gwayman, you're probably like what, 2 people away? I could probably bounce from you to one person to a second person to Fergie.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. That's why I did contact Validator right away. I was like, hey, if you want to help me just get the job done, like I'd be honored to play my role in that one. But all her social media handles are just at Fergie, so it's like pretty official. And that's kind of all she does.
Are you looking to sell it, or are you looking to give it away?
Well, yeah. So I won't talk about fully live, but when I reached out to Validator, it wasn't like, hey, buy this off me. It was more like, hey, I'm trying to play my role here. So if I could really get the job done, and then maybe just get what I put into it to get it to the right person, I'd be happy to do that. I think it'd be amazing for the space.
Why don't you like go through a connection whose name rhymes with hat?
Yeah, I could try that. And it's funny because I actually talked with them about it, and that's why I just figured I'd do it. Somebody went and bought Lady Gaga.eth for 30 ETH, and it was pure off speculation. He was in his spaces when he did it. He was like, I'll buy these. Like, I think artist names will be huge. I'm about to. And then that night he went and purchased Lady Gaga for 30. I said, whoa, because I didn't know that until somebody told me about it. And I was like, that's kind of, that's a pricey speculation compared to my 0.5. But so yeah, I did, and I had somebody from the UK. He's a buddy of mine contacted me. He lives in the UK, and he said that there's he's involved with soccer. I know like the World Cup's going on right now, but there's some guy. I got his full name in my DMs. I have to look, but his nickname and what everybody calls him, he's like a household name over there. His nickname is Fergie, and he's a UK guy, household name, I guess, but he's known as like the best manager ever in sports over there. So I'll have to like find his name again. It's like Alexander or something, or maybe that was his last name. But I had him contact me, and he was like, I didn't even think about the singer, bro. He was like, that's like a household name over here in the UK. He said like everybody calls him Fergie, and he's known for that. I was like, well, that's really cool. So it kind of had like a double meaning to it. So it made me feel better. I did also get the Casey.eth because I like the names. But
Well, there's a lot of names available, you know. I mean, and yeah, we should leverage our connections to help people.
it'd be big.
We want people to know that, you know, like there's a lot of big names that are available for free to a lot of big names, right? Like Grant Cardone, billionaire real estate mogul, in grantcardone.eth is available for free. That's in the ENS Ferry wallet. Elon Musk.
Yeah, Brandley secured that one.
Brandley has that secured for Elon Musk.eth.
That word free. Mogul. I just recently heard that whenever I was watching this like documentary on somebody, and he was known as a domain mogul. I thought it was mogul, but mogul makes more sense. Yeah, he was a domain mogul of like the .com era and whatnot. And after I watched the documentary, I registered domainmogul.eth. So I got that just like for fun. But you know, I'll pause on shilling my names for a minute, and
let me get a turn in here, Gwen.
I get cream soda, man, gets me going.
Yo, no, for real though, I was celebrating your pickup of Fergie. That's really cool, and what could happen with that? You know, just knowing you, it means something different than just someone else picking it up. And I want to shout out for real one of mine that I just scooped. I just got my hands on pedometer.eth, PEDOMETER, pedometer for 0.2.
I've seen that one.
It's a good cop. I feel good about it, and we're gonna have some experiments with building on the D-Web with that one and doing some affiliate marketing with it.
I like that, bro.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of people that know how to do e-commerce really well, like Web 2 e-commerce, and there's a formula with Web 2 e-commerce, and when you're doing the Web 2 e-commerce thing, you got to think, right? It's got to be, you want to sell something small because you want the shipping to be reasonably priced, right? You don't want it to be too like awkward dimensions. You don't want it to be too heavy. And so all of these ENS names that are these keywords that are product based just make such perfect I believe will make perfect e-commerce websites, right? So if there's a pedometer, did you say pedometer? There's just like a pedometer, like a device.
Yes, sir.
Then that's an e-commerce website. Those pedometers, you know, I mean, you can make a simple HTML website. You know, talk about different types of pedometers, different products of pedometers, different use cases of pedometers, different professions or exercises of using pedometers. And then each of those pages can, you know, be an eBay link or an Amazon link or a product link to a pedometer company, you know, for affiliates, or it could be your own product, right? That you normally would sell off Amazon, and maybe you'd wish to have pedometer.com. But now somebody has pedometer.eth.limo where they could be actually doing e-commerce, actually shipping real product, actually getting paid in Ethereum through a Web3 sign with Ethereum connected Web3 wallet.
Now we're talking about the future right there. Yeah, where the affiliate marketing goes right through to your wallet, you know, to your ETH wallet. Gosh, that's
you sign in with Ethereum, and then you add it to the cart, and then you check out. And then when you check out, your wallet pops up. And one of those steps in there asks you for your address. I mean, then there's people that are doing this, right? And people that are doing it, they're using Shopify. They have it all built right into Shopify. You know, the Bored Apes are doing it, and possibly VeeFriends or someone else was doing it. But yeah, you just, then Shopify handles the shipping information and all that, but you still have to connect with your wallet. You can't get to the shop. It's token gated. So, there's still like Web 2.8 to Web 2.9 ways of doing this.
Dang, that's the first time I heard Web 2.8. I always say Web 2.5, but now we're in the increment between 0.5 and 3. We're getting up there.
I think Shaolin wanted to say something. I seen him on mute, but I didn't want to, get to blabbering again until he got to pitch in if he wanted to.
No worries. I appreciate you guys. This is actually kind of back to the point too, like the B2B, right? So like if you can deal with the affiliate, if you can deal with e-commerce, it definitely is something super interesting. Now that you said that though, now I'm going to start creating some lists. I love the conversation though. It's great. I love ENSs in general. And actually the funny part is when I first met Gary at VCon, he talked about it and I didn't think of the way the application is because I didn't look into the technology of how it's the infrastructure is, and I was like, he unlocked my mind then, and he continues to unlock my mind now. So it's interesting.
It's been really cool getting to hear from you, the Shaolin. And I want you to imagine, like, for Pedometer or any product, imagine the subdomain potential with the brand name as the subdomain, hosting the .eth website there, the simple HTML content, like Gary was saying, on vanity subdomains, and then even selling those subdomains to those brands, or saying, hey, your competitors might be interested in it as well. Now we're talking some value.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I'm you guys. I have to think now. I have to pause and I have to think.
So I wanted to chime in one more, because I kind of had the one more question, and then now I made another statement. I cooked another one. I have a buddy watching the stream right now, so I want to say what's up to Robitussin. It's actually his birthday, so happy birthday, Robitussin.eth. But he told me to grab the Rubik's Cube and solve it on stream. And then I seen a comment on the video. There's a screenshot that Thread Girl put out, and somebody said you could tell how smart Gwayman is because of the Rubik's Cube. And the Rubik's Cube, as you can see, is far from done. so Gwayman's never solved the Rubik's Cube, but I never cheated. I just tried to do it myself, and didn't succeed. But it was funny, and I love it, and it it looks good on the shelf, and it kind of makes you look like a nerd, which is cool. But I did read all the books. But my last statement, kind of question, and I'm glad Novex is in here too. So I was talking with Novex, and I also talked with Gary about voxels, the metaverse, for an event that I'm trying to help kind of put together. And pretty much I know Novex put me on and said that, say, like, you could have a gallery and you could have somebody not grant access to move like their names and stuff like that. It's almost like mirror access or something, to where you could say like, I own 5 names and I want you to put in your gallery. I can give you permission to do so, and like it actually loads up and it'll show there, but I'm not granting you permission to sell these and move these things. Like, it's not like, I'm not at risk of being compromised by you for it. So the on cyber can work that way, which is very cool, because if I was a host of a showroom and I wanted people to come in, like almost how Novax does, he does a great job with it. Grant me access to showcase your names, but not too much access to where they're my names. But Gary kind of showed me this thing with crypto voxels that was actually really cool too. And pretty much for this thing I'm trying to put together, I'm trying to find out what would be the best solution. So I was wondering, Gary, is there a way inside of crypto voxels that you could almost get granted like that half access, or I'm not sure what to call it, but access to display their ENS without having permissions to move it and stuff like that?
You want to show ENS names in crypto voxels?
Yeah, but like I don't want to like if they're not in my wallet. I know you can connect wallets, and I don't want somebody else to feel like they have
You
to
can
like.
you can put any ENS. You can put any NFT anywhere in crypto voxels.
So it doesn't matter if you own it.
Yeah, no, you don't have to own it. If you own it, like if the wallet that owns it is the same wallet that owns the property, then the NFT can have a special frame. And the special frame indicates that the owner of the property owns that NFT. But
Such a clever way to do it.
And yeah, so I can like pull it up real quick.
Yeah, because I talked with you a little bit about it, and I've also talked to Novex. I'm just trying to see what would be like the best experience, and I like on cyber. And then I took that little trip with you into crypto voxels. I thought the crypto voxels was actually really cool. It worked a little bit smoother from my side of things too, to where if we could have say a party and people show up and they grab like their little champagne glass for like a toast during like a speech, and then people can look around the room and see all the names that we're trying to show off that maybe somebody holds.
Gary's got the space for it, man.
Yeah,
Check it
he
out.
does. He told me I could rent it out. We were talking about it, and I'd be open to doing so. I'm just trying to figure out, what would be needed from my side of things. I want to make sure that what I'm looking for can be fully done. So yeah, like these could be all someone else's ENS. Like if you wanted, you could make a wall of Gwayman's names if you really felt like it, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So these 2 NFTs are not in my wallet. And so I put them on the wall, but they're not in my wallet. But these NFTs are in my wallet. And so these one have the silver frame. Like all these have a silver frame. These are in my wallet. and you can tell they're in my wallet because they have a silver frame. These ones have a rainbow frame, and that's like the same thing. It's just a different design. I put the rainbow one on these because the color, because they're like colorful. Because I got all 5 of the different colors. These are like a cool NFT through VeeFriends. These are actually a gift gift NFT with Creature World Artist. But over here, these 2 NFTs, right there, these are not in my wallet, right? So they don't have the frame. You know, only this one is in my wallet. So it has the frame, but these other ones, these are covens. And these 2 covens are not in my wallet, but this one is in my wallet.
Yeah, this is beautiful, Gary. And just to answer Gwayman, spatial is also similar functionality from my understanding too, and maybe of interest to you to explore. But I think voxels and going with Gary is probably the right solution. With, you know, if he's willing to allow you to kind of scrub the curation in there and do it your own way, or help you, assist you in some way. I don't know about that, Gary. Are you able to pass off curator permissions to Gwayman so that he can kind of set up shop for the rental?
Yeah. Could I even show you, like, on this map here, you see these 2 red squares?
Yeah, he's flexing. He's right downtown.
He's in the good part of town.
So, oh yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, I'm in.
You can leave your meta car unlocked over there.
Yeah, so I'm in Origin City. So there's the lower building is in Area 51, and then the upper building is in Scripting, the neighborhood of Scripting. But you see this blue box up here? Turquoise box up here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is a property that I do not own, but I do have access to edit it.
Ah, okay. Very cool. Very cool. This sounds like exactly what I was trying to get at. And then last thing,
I could take you there. So it's like down here.
And somebody is able to talk in here if they wanted to.
Yeah, you could talk. Yeah. So this is a second rare. This is the rare pieces gallery.
You could talk. You could fly. You could dance.
Yeah, it's really cool in here. I think it's kind of a fun experience, especially if somebody was having like an occasion and it was like everybody grab like a glass, like that's super
they have
cool.
A big TV so they could broadcast. So I could probably broadcast to this Twitch TV right now. Yeah.
Oh, you can put it up there. Very, very cool. We're about to be in crypto voxels.
Yeah, we're about to expand in here, though. As soon as you get your taste of it, it's going to be real estate shopping time.
I don't want to mess with it too much.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure you want to pull up too much on there. But no, that answers my question. I was meaning to ask you that the other week because I'm gonna have to talk with you soon. I'll have to figure out what kind of landlord you are or something like that, or else we're gonna be doing it in a bad part of town. But it is what it is. We'll figure something out.
Gary's got a little broom closet you could rent out for like 10 ETH, for the night.
I got to be out by 8 p.m. and make sure it's clean.
I was showing someone this building the other day. Some people in Spaces from the ENS Wake and Bake show.
Oh yeah,
and they hit one of them has like a 12-year-old kid, and they've just been going, crazy in here. This used to be all purple, and they built a staircase. I don't know if it goes anywhere. Oh, yep. They put a staircase up here. That's cool.
Stuff is very cool. I really like voxels, actually. It makes me want to get a piece of land myself.
What is this? Someone there's a I think all this is built by a dude in the ENS. I think he's an ENS maxi in the ENS Wake and Bake show, or he's probably, like he hangs out in there.
It's probably just hype or something like that.
Him, or it might actually be someone else. But yeah, they do these voxels art.
It's very cool.
Yeah, I like
so they've
this.
been in here. This is a property that is public, which means anybody can edit it.
Yeah, this is sweet. It'd be fun to hop in there. It's got that Minecraft feel to it too. I think people might connect with it a little bit easier. I've never done it before, but so if I push this present button, does it let me show something on my screen?
Maybe.
I'm gonna give it
Oh,
a
wait,
try.
real. Yeah, do that. But also, before you do that, I just wanted to show Gary VeeFriends wallet. I don't know if the Shaolin saw this, but
Somebody send him that emoji.
if you go to app.ens.domains and you put in VeeFriends, you can get to the VeeFriends vault. And they have these emojis, which is cool. And they have VeeFriendsDAO.eth and VeeFriends.eth and Kindness Matters and KindAF. And they have PatientPanda.eth and GiftGoat.eth.
Oh, that's sweet. Those are his character names.
It's smart. He obviously had the foresight to do all of this beforehand.
But I can one up Gary V with Gary V. Because that's how cool Gary V is.
What, a Gary V self one up?
Yeah.
By the
so
way,
this is like Gary V squared up.
Gary,
so,
I have crown emoji Gary for you when you're ready for it. Crown emoji Gary.eth. It's got your name on it, man. Literally.
I love those emojis, man.
So VeeFriends.eth, right? VeeFriends.eth. And then you click on subdomains. This is the alpha. We got so whoever controls VeeFriends.eth, they eth, got mint.vfriends, they got vault.vfriends, they got wallet.vfriends, and what's this bad boy? It's gary.vfriends.eth.
That's the new home of the main man. I mean, the fact that it's there is really something, isn't it?
Smart. I know he's aware of ENS. I know that much. I mean, he's locked in here, but I know he's also thought about purchasing some things, but he's just kind of trying to learn more of. I'm like, well, let's get on it. Let's get to learning.
That sounds like a story to me, because it sounds like he knows quite a bit out here. He's got all these domains and subdomains and everything else.
He doesn't talk about it, but he has all these names and subdomains. So he's doing too much other cool stuff. He needs to check out the ENS a little bit.
So I'm going to present my screen for about 10 seconds. I just want to show something really quick. It's completely off topic, but it's appropriate.
I just want to interject to complain, because we have not seen the cat yet. You know what I'm saying? So where's that cat? I mean, you gotta make an appearance. That cat's a show cat.
He's ready for some nighttime treats and for me to lay down so he can sleep with me.
The metrics go up when the cat gets on stage, man.
Gary said it'll be RB. I'm going to hit present. I'm going to see what happens when I push present. Share screen. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Maybe not. Let me see.
No, I can't.
Okay, here we go. Okay. I don't think it's going to let me.
Gary might have to toggle views or something.
Well, it's telling me to choose what to. Okay. Here we go. Can you guys see that one?
No.
Look at that guy. Oh, really? It says it's sharing. That's unfortunate.
I can't see it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna stop sharing. That was a fail.
Yeah, maybe Gary has to say approve or whatever.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me see. Actually. Well, it's a good thing that you know, it's a learning lesson.
He might have some special permissions on you. Just knowing you, he may say, I better have a second double check.
Oh, there it is. Do you see it?
Look at him. So cute. Little pirate.
He looks so cute, doesn't he? Yeah, there's a story to how he lost his eye, but we won't get into that today. That's for another day.
Yeah, it's a tragic story, really, I'm sure. So let's keep it light.
I got the wife one, and she's missing an eye, too. It's a really crazy story.
Yeah, we got an eye patch in the 100K collection for the 100K cat. And, a good eye patch, a good pirate is so iconic, bro.
Iconic. I see what you did there.
I got meta pirate flag emoji.eth and metaverse pirate emoji.eth. I just like pirates, dude. I like that pirate
You love
flag.
emojis. That's what you love. I was so happy to see you pick up pedometer because I was like, hey, that's not an emoji.
You're like, he'll survive. No, I got some good domains. Not great ones, but a couple, good words only that I picked up early. I got like 30 something pre-punks. They're all pretty cool, but a lot of them are just 2 words and everything, right? Because of the 7 character limitation back in the day. But I got some stuff. It's all right. I'm getting better.
No, I got faith in you, man. I got faith. I know you'll be just fine.
I just got distracted by these emojis. I need to get back to the words. Now I look at the words and I just see nothing but value, like so much value on the words, really.
Sauce was always there.
Gamesman is out there for 0.07 right now. I should even say that out loud. I want it so bad. Some good ones.
So
I'm always looking at that floor, man. That floor is always sweet looking. There's a lot of good names if you know how to look and where to look.
yeah, I've been doing the good old LinkedIn trick where I'm trying to find good first names that are listed kind of cheap, and then I'm going to LinkedIn and comparing how many people I can find with that name before I pulled the trigger on it. And you know, LinkedIn is only a little bit. I do Instagram, I do Twitter, I do a lot of things. I'll Google the name, but that's just something I've been doing with my recent shopping on my first name and last name. Little secure the bag strategy right now.
You have multiple first names?
Yeah, I've got a few. I've been picking up a few different ones. My recent ones are definitely better because I actually paid the price for them, but they're not great, you know. But it only takes one person to think that it's a good name, and so yeah, clean names. I'll chill on the shilling, but I got a few. I'll end up sharing them.
Bro, last story I'm going to tell is that I think one of my first sales was a misspelling that I picked up. It was hilarious. I picked up Juanita thinking I was like, all right, it's a pretty good first name. And it's spelled incorrectly. The A and the U were reversed. And I still didn't know until like a week before I sold it. I had it listed for like 1 ETH. I bought it for 0.06 or 0.065. I listed it for 0.07 because I was like, oh, I realized it was a misspelling. Things sold like immediately. I was like, all right. So like one of my very first sales ever, a misspelling I bought on accident.
Yeah, I've seen a few
Everybody's bought a
misspellings. So.
misspelling. Everyone's done it.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, some people do spell it differently. It's not Spanish ENS domains. Yeah. Don't sleep on the Spanish. I do agree with that one. I'm still currently sleeping on it. My wife is not. She's been picking up some Spanish names, and I've been sticking to spending a little bit more on names that I like. And she's like, "You keep buying stuff." I'm like, "We're getting better." She's like, "Quit buying things," and I just can't, man. I can't. I know that there's opportunity out there. I stopped minting things. So I don't mint anything anymore unless it's like a joke to send to a friend.
I don't know, man. I'm minting coins.
There it is.
Yeah, man, we're minting coins all day long.
But
that's what's going on. That's why I'm so big on the location names. The location names are going to be minting coins all day long.
Oh, they're going to mint a lot of coins, especially if you can get the right locations.
I got some I Heart locations and heart locations. I got Red Heart United States and some things like that. So
the heart's an emoji.
That's yes, sir.
I knew
yes,
it.
It is.
I knew it.
Hey, thanks.
Novax, I used to be into emojis. Novax later. I'm into words now. Words are great. Novax like third scene. Emoji names.
I'm be shilling
emojis.
I'll be shilling these emojis until I get rid of them or they expire. But you know, that's the funny thing is that, you know, Domain Plug could really help with this. I think like that's one of the things about it. You know, the tagging and the stuff that we're doing. It's like, you know, there's a few things like this, getting a chance to share an idea in a place where it might be seen again too. And it's like maybe in 6 months somebody's going, "Oh, red heart emoji, I need it." And they're hearing this on replay. You know, you never know. So
no, you're right, man. You're right. I mean, you know, look what people did with digits and just a few other things. Look at me with my last name. Nobody's gonna want that. And then it's gone, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh, I should have just got it." And no, I can see it. I think it's a good little. It's a cool little thing to do. It's like its own little market. It's better than some of the other things I'm seeing. There's a few things I'm avoiding. I've spoken on in spaces, and I got a few people upset with me, but I just pretty much said like I'm not for the apostrophes and the underscores, and that's not, you know, I'm no pro. I'm just saying, what am I gonna purchase? And I'm not going for that stuff. I don't care what's like gonna be normalized or what's gonna. It just feels like, you know,
Gary,
you got to get
Gary,
the right.
Do you have a behavioral standard here? Because the man is just torching a whole category right here.
Well,
right?
no, it's not torching a category. It's, you know,
I'm the same. I totally agree with you.
We just lost 20% of our followers instantly.
They probably
Like
all
20% of the
apostrophes.
viewership just like dropped off.
There's a guy called apostrophes are the shit in the comments right now who's dropping all kinds of mean emojis.
No, it's just I did share my opinion in a space, and I could tell a few people weren't happy with it because they have like a lot of underscore name and names with apostrophes on it, and it's cool. It could hit. I clown digits at first too because it didn't make sense, but just because it doesn't make sense to me, don't mean like it won't make you dollars. But yeah, I just think we're still so early, and people would rather like grab like 30 of these things. Like, oh, I got 30 apostrophes instead. Like, you could have bought like a really solid name that would probably like get you a better return if that is what you're after. If you would have just kind of like looked around and maybe been a little bit more patient. But that's just just Gway Man talking his BS. So it could be totally wrong.
There's a long tail, man. There's a long tail of bad names. There's a long tail of bad projects. There's a long tail of bad ICOs, and it's very, very few ICOs or NFT projects or names on the grand scheme of things, right? That have more value than other names, right? And like look at the Domain King as an example, where it was something like out of I don't want to have to go find the tweet right now, but out of 6,000 names, right? It's like one name pays for everything and two names pay for everything, right? It's like the majority of the golden egg comes from a smaller percentage of the overall, part of the chicken or goose.
I love this chicken goose analogy, Gary. This is getting good. What about a turducken? It's almost Thanksgiving.
You guys making me hungry.
It's basically an NFT shoved in an ICO, shoved in a Web3 something.
Well, a smoker, Web3 smoker.
Yeah, wrapped in bacon. Definitely wrapped in bacon.
Flaming heart emoji bacon's about to expire.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. That's what makes it fun out here. Everybody has their own things, and there are groups that literally like form around just these apostrophes or just these underscores or just like I mean, I got some hyphens, so it's like again, I'm no pro. I'm just kind of sharing my opinion. I think that there are people.
You're just a dictionary maximalist.
Yeah, no, I really am. I just I see the value in it, but I could be right, I could be wrong. Like I said, you guys should have seen me, man. I sweeped my whole timeline because I was like hating on the digits and people were getting mad at me, and I said I need to stop this, and then I deleted all my tweets and I bought a digit, and then I just shut up. And now I'm just kind of riding the wave.
He said, I ain't no pro. I got some hyphens.
Hey, I got good hyphens.
I got game hyphen on and game hyphen day. I think they're the best hyphens I could possibly have gotten.
I got blockchain hyphen technology.
Mine are better.
I believe it. You're a pro in that stuff. But enough with the shilling. I think it's almost time to as Friday night a happy hour would say, turn on the lights and get out of here. I'm actually going to be going to bed here in a minute, but
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yep,
that's right.
So I'll shut up because I feel like I've been talking way too much, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk. I'm here to have some fun. So before I do go, I'm going to present my screen one last time. Let me see if I can do it right this time. Took me a minute last time. If it's okay with Gary, of course.
Yeah. Just don't chat roulette us or something.
Oh no, I got you. Totally appropriate.
There's standards.
So okay, that's the wife. So if you've seen, she got the eye patch with the blue background. So and we got matching eyes. So I just wanted to show that we're looking good. I made sure I got us set up. We look like we're like a seal couple. And
I was gonna say this is a seal, right? This is a seal. So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, this is a.
These are sappy.
These are sappy seals right here. The sappy
seals.
Appropriate? Oh yeah, they're so appropriate. The holders might not fully be.
I don't want to have to call HR.
they're totally appropriate. They're just meme people. But yeah, there's the couple. So there's myself and there's her. But we got the setup. We just need to find a sappy steel baby, and then we'll be good to go. But
Yeah, there
that's
you
You
go.
enough
guys
of
are
that.
looking cute. I mean, just too cute. It's adorable.
Like a
It's
whole
sappy.
seal family.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I got ones
Little,
that
little too
match.
sappy.
But yeah, so I just wanted to have some fun with that one. I figured probably people after 2.5 hours they might tune out, or if they make it to the end, they can at least see a cute little sappy family.
No cat though.
No cat, man. I, tell you what, I'll let Gary say the goodbyes. I'll show the cat for 1 second, or say whatever else he needs to say.
Yeah.
Cat's gonna
So
be
yeah,
fighting.
before we wrap up the Shalom, did you want to like say something about the 3L3 fence?
Yeah, so
Elephants?
that's based off of the if you look at it, the 3L3, it looks actually like a elephant with a trunk.
Elephants.
So that was
Yeah.
kind of the play. Now, so this is a project what I love because you see it just hit 102 ETH. The community is going hard, and what I love about this is the main thing was about animal conservatory and community. But the thing that's changed a lot of people about this project is the fact that the value is the IP itself. So we have LE Sports, we have LE Poker, and we have Elephants. But we actually have 7 and now 8 community-led spaces using this IP for people to have. We have a morning show. We have all these things, and these are done by our community. I think that really separates how a lot of projects are doing things, and allowing people to like create their own merchandise, create their like. There's a community member that's creating candles and underwear, and like just like all this kind of fun things that people don't talk about utilizing PFPs and NFTs for. And so it's just a fun way for like people to chat, kind of align with like your passion. I go into the Discord VC all the time, and I'm always surprised about the random conversations that happen, right? Because it's one thing you have Twitter spaces, but when you get inside a Discord VC, anything can happen. And so that's just one of the projects that I've been a part of since we minted, and it's been really helpful for me. I actually do the alpha calls there, but outside of that, it's just a fun project because it's a great entry point. And when things didn't mint out, instead of actually just going free mint, because that was the big thing about 4 months ago, he held on to them, and he partnered with Alien Friends. He partnered with other collaborative projects, used it in the marketplaces, and helped onboard people who are not in the space or who are in NFTs but weren't part of the community, and they just utilized those hundreds, of NFTs to like onboard people. And it was really cool because this is how you can get your friends into this without having to like either pay a lot or just the fact that you could be on board for free. So it was something different, and I just appreciate it because when you have leadership who thinks like that and who are bringing people into the space versus just again, all the same people doing the same things, just moving liquidity from one person to another, that it's all about it. But thank you for the time and space to share that.
Yeah, what's cool. This isn't the first time I've heard of these. I had somebody bring them up to me a little while ago, and I didn't take them very serious because at the time I forget what I was into. But people just bring like a lot of projects to like the DMs, and then they'll talk about like, "Hey, I'm buying these. Like, you should look into these." And I remember seeing these. I remember being told about them, and I think somebody tried to offer me a few in a trade for a domain, and I was like, I don't want any of those because I didn't know what they were. But now I actually have some insight. Yeah, it wasn't even like a disrespect thing or like it's not like I just like the art.
It's just part of how it works. So the fun part is, I'm sure you guys have heard of Gunslingers, or no? It was kind of back in the day. They were associated with like Alien Friends and a couple other like similar projects. So Tornado Toad is the actual illustrator and creator for the art piece, and he's like well known in the Web2 space as a creative director. And he actually did music videos for like Billie Eilish and a few other artists. So he got into Gunslingers. He was the lead artist for this. And the other cool part too is like to create a platform for other people to get in. There's 5 other artists who've done derivatives, who are actually again utilizing that to build their own like derivative projects. And the founders okay with it entirely, And so it's just a unique way to put spotlight for other people to do things. And it's not just about pumping bags and, getting people into it outside of the fact of just being genuine organic interaction.
That's really cool. I'm liking watching Gary browse around. I felt like I was getting to, and I had to pause my spinnings today, so it was scratching my itch. I'm like, yeah, buy that one. Sweep them.
But the cool thing is, I'll actually drop you something that's super interesting because it's different, and the fact that like we're talking about in real life events and things like that. there's actually a few people, and you might know Elja Boom. He's pretty popular in the NFT spaces. He's does crypto, he does NFT trading. Him and a couple other people are actually putting an IRL event in Dubai for an NFT for elephants. That's actually going to be 3 or 4 days. So that was something different too, that we found people, investors in the space who actually want to take it next level and actually do an IRL event. And I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Dubai. And if I can do that on behalf of elephants, I was like, wow, that'll be huge and that'll be a win-win. So that's something else that's super unique and super interesting. So if you want to buy elephants, get yourself some before this event so you can go and participate.
I'll
We've got
have
a
to look
couple
at the
other
elephants.
big projects. Yeah, we have a couple other big projects that went in as well, just because it's a kind of a unique opportunity to, again, bring people together.
Really hope my wife isn't watching this long, because when she sees little cute things, it's like, I just want one. And then I'm stuck buying a few of like the cute things that she likes. So
With a
hopefully,
matching eye patch for yourself and one for the baby.
that's why I did it, man. I did it. I did the matching. I would have got a cooler seal that was kind of like thugging, but I got an eye patch, blue background, and I got her on one with like a rare heart. But I shop in twos now. When I'm shopping, I have to shop for a couple.
That's actually, it's funny that you get to that. Right? Yeah. No, totally. That's the same thing. Both of what you're saying resonates. The first NFT I got was actually for my wife because I wanted her to buy in. So I was like, I got to hook her up first. And then I bought mine after, and it was an alien friend. And it was so fun that you guys said that, because when I do go buy into projects, I always think of my wife as well.
That's awesome.
That's where I'm at now. I picked up 100K digit today, and I was like, nah, I got to buy her one. So I hooked her up with a good one because I got a good one. And it's just like, I got to do that stuff.
What'd you get?
That's the final shill. I got two that start with 11 and then have like a palindrome, like 3 at the end, so like 11484. And then I've scooped up one that starts with 069, so I got 06925. Just some stuff that I think could sell. I don't know. I just kind of had a little bit of play money and figured I'd show some love to the 100K.
Nice. No, I'm actually looking for that exact data right now on which digits. I'm literally in a spreadsheet right now trying to figure out which digit properties to associate a few lost pieces of art with. So you just gave me a bit of inspiration. I want to thank you, Gway, man, for just the time, like kicking it, and really value all the insights and everything that you shared. And Gary, I want to thank you for doing this. And I want to say to the Shaolin, man, that was really cool. Seeing the three elephants, the elephants, that was really cool, man. And it's always nice to be exposed to like a new project and a new community to see what's going on around a corner that you might not have found another way. So that's another bit of value here, Gary, that's happening, man, connecting people together. So we appreciate everyone. And I'm going to peace out now and go and spend some family time, but we'll be back again tomorrow night, same time, same place, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by. Yeah, we'll call it a wraps here. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at about 9 o'clock or so. We're going to be diving into the ENS DAO proposal, talking about the DAO treasury and the money management of that, in addition to other things. So that'll be really interesting. A lot of questions about, how they're going to manage the money for the second largest DAO in all of Web3. And, really interesting to pay attention to see, how this is happening here. Give us some more information, see how the votes are checking in, just go over all that good stuff. It's gonna be really cool. But Shaolin, you want to say where people can find you?
Oh yeah, so this is the fun part, right? I had this conversation last time, but yeah, no, on Twitter I'm Daryl Kwan. I have darylkwan.eth also, but Daryl Kwan 8 on Twitter at. So I can appreciate all of you. That's where I'm at. You'll see me posting. I'm always trying to add value. I take a lot of what Gary P and also what Gary V say, which is always, make yourself presentable in a way that you're always adding value to the space. So I appreciate all of you guys' time. It's a pleasure to meet Novax and Gwayman, and always a pleasure to be a part of your show, Gary.
Excellent. Thank you very much, man. Gwayman, do you want to, how can people find you? 4969.eth.
So yeah, so I'm 4969.eth, but you'll find me really everywhere underneath Gwayman.eth. Mainly Twitter. Twitter is like my main go. I want to shout out Novex, shout out Shaolin. You guys are fun to talk to. Thank you, Gary, for having me again. Thank you guys for letting me come and run my mouth a little bit too much on a light a weeknight. Sometimes I don't know when to shut it, but I think it makes for good content. So I'm happy to be here, and you guys will see me here a couple times a week. And I'm actually very excited for tomorrow's show, given the DAO conversations. I think there's a lot I could take away from it. So I will be sure to be here. And yeah, guys, just thank you very much.
Awesome. Novex, where can people find you?
Yeah, no, hey, it's n0vax.eth, or if you just search for any old crappy emoji pair, I probably have it registered, so you probably find my wallet that way too. But yeah, you know, guys, I'm always on the Twitter Spaces n0vax NFT. That's my @ on Twitter, and that's the best place to find me. My DMs are open. If you guys see anything in my wallet that you like and want to talk about, hit me up. And if you're looking for somebody to strategize with, I do a lot of consulting. I'm just now consulting with Amazing XR, which is a 3D AR, big player in that space. Actually, we've done a lot of commercial products and things. So there's a few other partners like that. I was going to say earlier with the Fergie connection, I do a little bit of consulting and Web3 advising with a little group called NFA, Non-Fungible Art, in which Snoop Dogg is a partner. And so we may have a little like lead in there. I could send it up the line and see if we can get a word out to Fergie if they know each other, or if Snoop is willing to make the intro. I mean, you got Fergie.eth. I mean, I think everyone's going to want to hear about that. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely sounds cool.
Awesome.
Awesome,
Very
man.
cool.
Thank you.
And I'm Gary Palmer Jr. on Twitter, Gary Palmer Jr., and we're minting coins on Twitter as well. Minting coins, Gary Palmer Jr. Subscribe to this video or this channel. Like this video. Like and subscribe or comment wherever you're watching this. We are simulcasting across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Become a member. Visit mintingcoins.com. Become a member. Your member helps support us and creating content and giving back to the community, becoming, helping and contributing to the Web3 space. And your help and your contribution is awesome. But with that being said, until next time, we are minting coins. Thank you.
Money, I get that money. I get that money. Yeah, I get that money. I get that money. Yeah, I get that money. You can't take it from me. Well, it can get ugly. Don't play with my money.